Maybe next time we'll organize our vacation a little better.
Says the chaotic.
I'll be a little bit longer.
What? What was that, Tommy?
Chaotic. I'll kill your family.
Not understanding those chaotic. Not understanding those lawfuls. Lawful good for the win.
What's going on, guys? Apparently, it's lawful good for the win today at Lordly Caliber, and we are here for session maybe 50, high 40s.
You had so much time to look that
38.
shit.
38.
Yeah.
Looking up stuff.
Tommy.
38.
Tommy,
Okay,
38.
a number. I don't believe
Yeah, it
any
was
of these
50
people.
last time on the Interplanar Crossroads.
Oh yeah, you guys did do your big. You guys are turning gray. Centrum Silver. Regardless, the party survived radioactive ghosts. That's super sweet. I had a lot of puzzles built around radioactive ghosts. They said no to it. That's not sweet. That's what you get for prepping in your campaigns. I'll say that. And now, with no further ado, let's get those hero points. Colin's not here today. Colin had a thing. I would appreciate it if someone botted him in combat. But if we have combat, that's an entirely different scenario. Why is that not a recognizable command? Roll 1d5, that's a dice, roll 20, and I get a 4, so that means Kane Francis is up first for his in-character reflection.
Oh,
Roll that
God.
hero point. Oh, God.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord.
We're going up, right? We're going up. There are some ruins here. It's real interesting. There are some plants. Everybody said not to touch the plants. I didn't see what was wrong with it. Everybody got real upset, and I said, don't worry about it. You're just being a big wuss. So I took the plants, and they were, I don't know, someone got a little, I think someone's hair came out. We'll figure it out. And then a bunch of spooky ghosts showed up, and everybody was starting to feel real sick, and I didn't understand why everyone was feeling sick, because I feel fine. But everybody else was like, I've got cancer. And so we left, right? Because they were getting all tumory, and I figured that maybe we should get out of there because they were getting tumory. But plants don't get tumory because I have cell walls. That's pretty much, I'm feeling pretty good right now. Everybody else, I think, is maybe probably feeling not so great, but I'm feeling pretty good.
Everybody else is jammed in a bag of holding right now, so...
Right?
That's a thing.
This is true.
That happened. Take that hero point. Next up, Van, your side quest has taken us to radioactive ghosts. How does it make Poke feel?
My side quest. Pope's side quest. I thought that was the direction of the campaign, and the DM said no, the rails are down there. So, Pope's like excited because we're gonna go back and find Dalek. It's gonna be Dalek, destroy. It's gonna be awesome, glorious, and the old man from the woods didn't do too bad flying the flying carpet. I mean, we're still alive. But yeah, being in a bag with everybody else is not as much fun as you would think it would be for a small guy. So, ready to go.
Alrighty, my dude, take that hero point. Next up, the dice say Kane has to go twice. No, that's not gonna happen. I could.
Alright, so everybody was getting real tumory, and I figured, okay, never mind.
This actually is from Splorpy's point of view at half power. Stop giving me 4s, roll 20. There we go.
Well, okay, so Splorpy's in character reflection is...
Splorpy receives 1 hero point.
Yes!
I am not joking. Adam, how you feeling?
You know, the inside, he says, rubbing the side of his ribs still sore from before. The inside of these extra-dimensional spaces and the haversacks and bags of holding, aren't that small? A lot bigger than I thought they would be.
Shh, quiet, you're using up the oxygen.
What? They're not going to be in here 10 minutes, are we?
Francis just forgets.
It's actually divided, 10 minutes divided among the 6 of you.
No one told me that.
Whoops.
I mean, as long as you open the bag.
As long as it opens the bag and lets the radiation in, you guys will be super great. Everyone, make a fort. No, you don't make a fort save. You're fine. Donald, on the subject of you.
Okay, so being in a bag of holding...
Did I get my hero point or not? Was I?
Nope,
just,
you did. Splorpy got it. Yeah, you get your hero point.
Oh my hero point.
Yes!
Splorpy's a weird hero point siphon, and he just sucks the hero points from everyone.
I kill your iPhone and your ability to succeed.
Yes, you
Okay,
get your hero point, Adam. Got it.
Getting back to my character, being in a bag of holding, it is a new thing for her. So she finally know what it feel like to be an item within a bag of holding now.
And on that note, I'm going to say that you guys successfully make it all the way back down to the floor of the cavern. Dalek is not there. You're not sure where Dalek is. He's somewhere. Where that somewhere is remains to be seen. What's there basically is a bunch of snow covering the ground where all those trogs were killed by an Abracarn viper that they couldn't damage. And that's very fortuitous because the smell of trog is bad, to say nothing of rotting trog.
That's right.
Super gross. I'll also remind everyone now that you guys are... You had one meal from Goodberry, so you can make it to, like, lunch tomorrow. And it's a little after breakfast today, essentially, before the food is out.
So where did
I think the
go?
rotting actually makes the trog smell better.
I will really quickly. You guys all should have a handout that's called Possible Exits and a You Are Here. I will show
Yeah, we can come out in the Dwarven Mountains or in the forest next to it.
Yep. And now everybody on the screen can see it. Your guys' options are pretty much anywhere in the Five Kings Mountains. You could probably find an exit from the Darklands into Dwarven territory, as well as, like, catching up with an army that has a couple days head start on you and is moving much faster because they literally can carve through the rock. You could try to break off for the Fog Peaks and meet up with the Campagnol Duchy. There's several exits in Druma, and the exit where you're at still is there. It's still a thing. There is definitively an exit into the Verduran Forest there. You also could turn back and try to make for Kathir, but that's 2 months. And in addition, there's also, I don't necessarily know if anyone in the party wants to do this, but I will point out that down is an option. There are other layers in the Darklands, and there are other sentient creatures that live in the Darklands.
Well, we should ask our resident tour guide. Anything fun down there?
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't mind visiting home again, but I've been killing lots of Rovagug spawn down there, so there's probably going to be a lot of things down there that you would have to cut your way through or sneak around, and I'm not sure that's what you guys are up for at the moment.
No. We'll save that for a vacation another time.
Oh, I can show you the oceans in Orv are beautiful at this time of year. The cycles of the moss on the ceiling make wonderful stars. It's like wonderful.
Really? It's not radioactive, is it?
No.
No.
No blight burn.
Oh, okay. Well, my vote is the last couple of times we've tried to get up to the surface again, we've been grossly underpowered back in Casimir, stopped by magic pieces of paper apparently, and then just now we were stopped by the inability to tunnel up. And so if we are really well and truly behind a large force that is cutting through everyone and everything, it seems like we'll at least have a path back up. And at the end, assuming that we're still friendly and they haven't changed their minds, then we should have a welcoming party of sorts.
That is a thought. I guess I should make one more point, because there are a lot of spellcasters in the party. It's not impossible to just park somewhere and stone shape. Maybe not all the way up, because stone shape doesn't interact with dirt. But you guys do have, like, geomodding a la Red Faction in the party. That said, it would take a long time to do so.
Well, we need some food too. What do you think about that, Kaza?
Well, there's several places just not too far from here. Where the Darrow were isn't far from a place where you can get some food, but that's a ways back. I could probably find some place here close. It's not like, oh, diners and dives, and he in the Underdark. Welcome to Narvoth. But
Welcome to Flavor Cave.
Oh no.
not unless you want to go to the Drow.
I'll be your guide, Gug Fieri.
Oh,
That feels bad, but take an
never-
action
the
point, you
action
bastard.
point.
I just had a magic item that would be perfect, but it would cause party not to like to see even more. It would be the pallid crystal to make unedible food edible.
Even when we were traveling with them, I mean, these Gugs it seems knew we were here, but they chose not to fuck with us because there was a bajillion of us.
That is the best
Well,
resource.
I will say that following after the armies might be easier to find a way, but there are always scavengers that follow death. So the trail left behind by the army might be would still need to be watched.
Well, I think they were following us already. The reason they broke off is because we were the trail. You know,
Indeed.
bunch of handsome young rogues went off into the fucking dark, and then they were just like, "Oh, I guess we'll eat that."
Mm-hmm.
Following
Well,
them.
I appreciate you talking that way about me, but
Well, I'm talking about myself.
Of course you are. I guess it's also worth mentioning that somewhere out there are still 9 Gugs that you guys haven't found. Whether they're still in the dwarf ruins, being immune to poison but being harassed by ghosts, or if they've come back down remains to be seen.
You mean they can just walk out of the haunt?
Mm.
How come we had to like punch a hole in it?
Because you're not immune to 2d8 points of con drain and then a d6 of charisma drain every day.
Yeah, you guys had to punch through it. I walked through it.
Whereas they are immune to poison, so they're immune to poison.
Let's see.
My voice, I say we follow the army track. At least we have some safety following them, at the very least.
well, we
It
can
feels
always go
feels
that
wrong to have to backtrack, but I mean, we came all the way up here, almost died, and now there's what like Kazaha, like another couple miles of rock straight up before we hit surface.
Oh yeah, definitely. At the least.
Yeah. Let somebody else do the tunneling for a change.
I will say that from what I can remember, there's going to be a chance, even if we follow the army, based upon the way they came, especially since I led Francis back this way, that you could decide on the way that we could go to the Five Kings Mountains. We can head towards Kionin.
But what do we expect to find in the Five Kings Mountains? Kind of
I don't
reception.
know.
That
I
might
am
require
new
a
to your
knowledge
little
local
group.
check. Yeah, I think so.
How do we feel about dwarves?
Pretty much.
How do dwarves feel about us?
Well, I'm short and fat. We'd probably get along.
Yeah, you're basically a dwarf now.
But you have no beard.
Yeah, they'd be like,
What? Who are you to make that judgment call, sir?
One with eyes.
Francis has to just get his, 1,000 faces so he can grow a beard made of, maple leaves. I didn't mean to
Oh
make a
yeah, it's
Canadian
already
joke,
coming in.
but I've done it.
It's getting real. It's getting real mossy. I'm
Turns
getting real
into an-
tree beardy.
Turns into an Earl King. Alright, so I see a
You turn into
17
tree
on a
board.
knowledge local check.
18 from me.
18 from you.
That 40, by the way, was to find out if there was anything,
Like an Abercorn
I could-
Viper.
or if I could tell where anything had gone, or anything interesting other than snow.
That's fair. Okay. Well, first off, the dwarves in Galarion right now are pretty neutral as far as the war and empires across Aveston and things like that go. They are contracted out on a pretty regular basis to form mining operations or oversee the building of, for example, all those mithril mines in Kadira. Those were dwarven make. They don't really tolerate people, as far as you guys know, entering their homes. I also should... It's worth mentioning that there's a huge bounty on Lucia's head, and probably at least by association, and Xandu's as well. Everybody else in the party, so there's nothing saying these guys wouldn't just sell you up the river. But it's not necessarily a given, either. For that perception check, you don't... hang on. I will be generous. Here come the percentage dice. 1d100. Boom. Okay, you see serpentine tracks going through the snow. They appear to be leading to the north. And in addition, there's snow everywhere. You can kind of still get like the faint ping of Trog when you breathe in on their crude bones, spears, and javelins and things of that nature that are also strewn all over the place. But there's nothing really of value.
Pogue walks around and for some reason starts going, exterminate, exterminate. So that's what he's doing.
Got it.
Pogue, I don't think you're going to have to worry about getting your little snake back. It will follow you as long as you wear that little headband.
Yeah. So Pogue starts, Dalek! Oh, Dalek!
No,
where are
shush!
You, Dalek?
Quiet! Quiet!
What?
Just think it.
Oh, think it.
The Trogs are dead now, but those Gugs aren't.
Oh. So you hear Pogue mumbling, Dalek, 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 under his breath.
I don't know that only 9 of them would come back. They probably get to go home and, I don't know, make more Gugs.
I don't even want to know how Gugs are made.
Probably, you know, when a man Gug and a lady Gug love each other very much.
Oh no, they don't love each other. They're like, it's hot and sweaty.
I know. I'm just trying to break it gently to Lucy. All right.
They order one from the stork. Yeah, we know.
When it comes to
biting.
When it comes to aberrations and mating, it gets very awkward for aberrations.
To say the least, yeah.
I don't think they think it's awkward.
I haven't.
So, where are we going? Are we going to follow the army, or are we looking for way up?
I think the army is the way up.
Follow the army.
Alrighty.
All right. Tally
Well,
ho!
personally, I'm all for that's the Dalek coming back.
Well, he'll follow you, but if we're back down here, wherever he's gone, he's already turned back around to come this way.
You better have.
Alright, so you guys take off. It takes
You better have. The player says more to the GM than to the party.
No, what are you talking about? He's thinking to himself.
It takes you guys the better part of the rest of the day to make your way back to, back towards Casimir, where you guys left Ularix and where Ularix and his horde of lizard folk left you. But it's not hard once you find the path that's been cut through the rock by a dragon's breath weapon forward to be able to track this thing. The rest of the day's travel is you get a little farther ahead, and with Kazaha at the front leading, nothing attacks you. You aren't led into anything that bad.
Is there any evidence of reforming been done by outside forces?
Like the rock being formed back together?
Uh-huh.
Good question. No, not at all.
Good to know that I don't have to use most of my stone shape.
Yeah, no, you guys basically have a cave superhighway. You guys pass one day of travel safely, but you don't catch the army. The army is days in front of you in a world where they're moving much faster in a day than you are. So it's going to take several days to catch back up to them. They're
well,
certainly
if we've
not
got a clear shot up to the rear of the army, we'll catch up on them.
Yeah. Anywho, we will...
It takes a lot of time to move an army through any sort of terrain.
We get to the end of the first day. We're going to do... I'll grab a quick percentage dice for what happens in the As you guys camped for the night, remember when we wake up in the morning, we're out of food.
How many times? How many times can you use good berry for?
Like every day?
He just needs to find something to cast it on.
So did we give Kaza a chance to look for food as we were going back?
That's fair.
That's 30 survival from Francis.
Okay, yeah, Francis is able to find enough. It's not in his wheelhouse, but he can basically figure out what's edible and what will kill you dead.
Yeah, even if you double the DC to find food, I think 30 is high enough to get everyone in the party.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys have enough food to last the day.
Hasaha says, "Oh, yeah, that one, not the other one. No, the one with the spores coming out of it is bad."
It's actually a MacLeod, and he's pissed.
I know what it is.
Having two NPCs that don't need to eat definitely helps with the hunt. Not
especially when the giant NPCs are giant and would mechanically, though I wouldn't run it that mechanically, but mechanically would need more food to not die horribly. Anywho, you guys do find food. Who takes the first watch before I hit the D100?
It would be my...
Oh yeah, there's no first watch. It's Francis and the Dragon.
Yeah, it's me. All the time.
Francis and the Dragon.
I think Pogue's the only person with a higher perception than me.
Alrighty, go ahead and make that perception check.
I will do that.
If Lucia's Dragon would like to do the same.
Yeah,
and I guess also Splurpy.
38 perception from Francis and a...
Nice.
Oh dear God, let me look up a capacitor Ooze's perception.
He has
hey
amount of negative levels equal to half his hit dice because he's at 50% power for powering a sentry bot. That was fun. That was a good bit of improv.
I said 41 for my dragon perception.
Boom.
He doesn't have one. He has no listed perception bonus.
Oh, rough. Okay, so what's the dragon's range on his dark vision? Is the next question.
It is 660 feet.
I assume Francis's is about the same.
Yes.
Okay. Alright, well you guys definitely hear the sound of something flying in the darkness. You don't see it, but it's out there. Just, like, outside the range of where the, like, black and white fades to just straight black. You don't know what it is.
Like the sound of flying?
The sound of, like, wings flapping. Like, big wings flapping through the Darklands.
Like bat wings? Or
it's hard
like
to
angel
say.
wings?
I imagine it sounds basically... It's not like the choir just follows the solar angel singing in, like, Roman Catholic as it flies around. Well, maybe. Trumpet Archon.
Singing in Roman Catholic?
You mean in Italian?
No, I mean like the religion.
The Latin?
The religion, not the language.
Tommy, during the day traveling when we do finally rest, I will we'll use commune with dead on my apprentice party to see if you want to come back to life or not.
Okay, understood. First, what do you guys want to do?
Can anybody make poisons?
I mean, Enderling can with craft alchemy.
I can make poison if we have to. I have a high enough craft alchemy.
Okay, I want to be able to reload the snake when we get him.
All right, so Francis, Lucia, Dragon.
Okay, so
Dragon.
His dragon NPC, not you are fighting a dragon.
Okay, so
shit!
So a simple question: Does Yarva want to come back to life, or should I just
We'll worry
leave
about
them
that after we figure out about the thing that's about to kill you.
Oh, is something about to kill us?
Maybe, you don't know.
Well, I don't know. I can't see it.
Yep.
How long did we get to sleep?
This is pretty much right into, like, long enough to where Lucia, Kazaha, Enderling, Zandu, the people that don't have to, the people that need to sleep are passed out and don't hear it.
My imp doesn't need to rest, so he would probably scout the area being invisible.
When's the last time we had a long rest? Have we not had one yet?
No, I had one. You guys all slept in the bag when we were flying over the...
We did not sleep in the bag.
Puzzle room. We flew over. We solved your ghost puzzle.
We would have.
By running away from it?
Yes.
Yes. Did we have a long rest or no?
You guys would be getting the long rest right now. But you had one before. You guys slept on the carpet.
Yeah, we slept on
Except Pogue didn't. Okay.
Alright, so I hear that the invisible imp wants to go scouting.
Oh, the
correct.
capacitor ooze has blind sight, 120 feet.
Okay. Well, as the ooze or as the imp goes out to scout, Donald, if you could make that stealth check.
And he does have a listed perception. I just didn't see it in the stat block.
Fair enough.
It's real bad. It's -5.
It's minus more than that now. 58. Okay. That is opposed by... I guess that 20 is the stealth while moving. Is that right, Donald?
Yes, it's using the at-will power.
Understood.
Imps are great for that power.
They are. Okay, so... Do you have an empathic link? Well, you're asleep. It doesn't matter. The next thing that happens is... I'm doing quick math in my head. Does a 27 hit your imp?
Yes.
Alrighty. So that would be... parentheticals. Something bad happens to the imp. You don't know what the imp is doing, but the imp knows that it goes out. Does the imp have dark vision?
Yes, it does.
The imp sees a huge bat, and the huge bat seems to see the imp, and it mechanically has held actions, and it is now using them, and it dives down at you. And you see on the imp, you're the imp, on the bat's back is somebody. They're wearing really, dark plate mail armor, so it's hard to tell what it is, but it has a lance and it runs into your imp. I think I did my math right, or my macro right rather, for 66 points of damage.
Yep, the imp, it is it, but dead.
Okay, so then Splorpy with blind sight, not sense.
Sight.
Okay, then Splorpy would also see a very large bat and a rider on top of it. Just blind sight beats invisibility.
It does.
Okay, then you see the imp. Well, yeah, we're not going to shoelace it. The imp gets run over by somebody with a lance who then turns around and flies back out of the range of your blind sense. It's not necessarily they don't look like they're just oh, there's blind sense. Or blind sight rather. I gotta back up. It's not like that. It's like they have hit it and now they're taking off.
Mm-hmm. They're just coming, they hit something, they back off. Just guerrilla tactics.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're headed in the direction of the army?
They're heading back the way. Well, that's a good question. It actually was Ularix. He's pissed off. You guys didn't follow the quest? I will kill you all in your sleep. No. Yeah, you know what? They're heading straight north. The D4 says 1, so that's a fun twist.
Nice.
So they're heading north and so are we.
Correct.
So do you wake us up?
Well, I'm the GM.
Not you.
I suppose I might, yeah. Well, is this at the end of a long rest, or...?
This is, again, they've probably been asleep like an hour.
First watch.
Oh. No, I let them sleep.
Okay. Here come more percentage dice.
I'm gonna wild shape into something that can see better in the dark, but...
Understood. Well, the rest of the night does pass uneventfully. Everyone wakes up after the benefit of a full rest. Lucia wakes up and realizes her imp is gone.
Knowing my imp is gone, I will just re-summon it later when I have the time.
Okay, so we need to check and see if you can do that.
I can. It just be paying the gold price when have the time.
Oh, like mechanically for getting back a familiar who's dead. Okay. You guys wake up. Lucy's familiar's dead.
Oh,
That was
no,
interesting.
that's so horrible.
Yeah, I was real torn up about it. I was gonna wake you guys up, but I figured, we've been so tired the last couple of days. I should just let you, deal with that on a full night's
So
sleep.
hard. You should have woken me.
I know, right?
Oh,
I thought it was
My best
very important,
friend.
but everyone was so drained after what we've been through that it seemed more important that you guys get, just a little respite. I should talk at the microphone and not at my glass of water that's on the other end of the desk.
The party is a glass of water.
We are the glass of water.
We are. It gives me something to visualize. I can.
You're learning to project.
Yes.
Getting another familiar is not going to be much of a problem for me. This is nothing new for the wizards that I know.
All right.
Huh.
So callous.
I mean,
She's evil, Tommy.
Yeah,
You're just
fair.
giving him
We were
about not being evil enough.
It is a imp. I can always summon another imp.
On that note, can everybody make a quick perception check for me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you have to remember also that she's getting blood money from the suffering souls in some demi-planes.
Oh yeah, I have. That was the tipping point. Was you are sadistically torturing the bejesus out of someone.
Is it just with someone or like multiple someone?
It is just one.
I think it's just one chick from the bar. Oh, that makes it worse almost. All right, Adam. I see a 26, a 24, a 33, and a natural 1. There we go. You want to use your hero point?
I better use it now. I don't want to.
I like how you said
miss
do it and
something.
burped at the same
We
time.
should just do it. We should do a couple sessions where nobody uses their hero points and we just take all the natural ones.
Yeah, with
Everybody's dead.
You get a bunch of natural 20s and it'll be the best day. Okay, so the encounter doesn't happen.
At least it's not a natural one.
Everyone feels the hairs on the back of their neck stand up for just a second, and then they go away. And you guys find about the size of, like, the average coffee mug, I would say, a little pile of snow on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Which one assumes is Lucia's imp's now body.
Oh, he looks so peaceful.
So why does the imp turn into snow?
That is a good question.
So it's not just summoned magic creatures or something. It's
I'm curious. So how would it work? I mean, they're a devil, so wouldn't they go back to hell?
You can make a knowledge check.
Well, it could just be also the body that turned to. Because it's just the soul that goes back to hell when something extraplanar dies.
I mean, the only way to kill outsiders for certain ones, you need to kill them on their native plane, effectively.
Well, Donald,
Or-
you're assuming
yeah.
things that may have changed the setting in this campaign. So what's that check? The 29 you have there?
With religion?
Knowledge, religion. Okay, so Lucia can figure out more or less. It's awkward because it's. We wish Joe was here because Joe is the one who has the lower DC because he is of the faith. But Lucia assumes that it's because imps and devils and demons and all those all rolled together are like the incarnations of evil and were once very evil souls. If the end of the world can get a hold of those evil souls, they will do so.
ooh.
Well, I can always summon another imp.
You're not sure how well that will work because, like, Lucia knows what should have happened didn't happen, and that's telling of other things that may be happening
That we don't understand.
that you aren't. You probably could understand them. You guys are smart. It's just, and this also runs parallel to what's going on the surface because 2 months and change have passed. But like, you just
This
don't have
actually
enough
does-
information.
Hazahad actually does stop and think. He stops joking about her loss of the familiar, and he does actually stop and think about this one. Goes quiet a bit. Implications.
Well, north it is.
Let's continue back onto the road.
Okay. Let's see if today passes well. Okay. So you guys, it's a pretty low, like, mechanically a low miss chance because Kazaha's here. You're able to dodge through a lot of the stuff that's particularly bad. Like, Kazaha knows that if you keep going north, eventually you contact a really, really big Dwemer sink, and you're able to dodge it.
Are we
You have to go east
are we-
first and then go north.
are we foraging and stuff too?
I think so.
Well,
I hope
just,
you are.
You know.
Yeah, Francis can forage down here. It's not hard for him to find little, funguses and stuff to eat, especially because he can talk at him.
Hello, my friend. May I eat you?
And the Myconid is again pissed.
Oh, little funguses.
Make that survival check. Natural 1, it actually is a Myconid, and it actually is pissed. Natural
Alright,
20,
fine.
a
I'll kill
Myconid
it and I'll
with
eat it,
levels.
and the rest of you can go hungry. 30.
Again, yeah, you're certainly able to find enough, like, mushrooms and tubers, and perhaps even, like, little, like about the size of your fist, grubs and other strange insects. Hakuna Matata.
Grubs are actually quite tasty if you mix them with some of the Umber Hulk meat, but we don't have any of that, so.
Crunchy, but satisfying.
Slimy, yet satisfying. Yeah.
There it is.
Right.
There's the quote.
On that 20% miss chance, not a lot of crazy happens. So here's another D100. Okay, so this night passes super uneventfully. It's actually really quiet, which is super weird for the people that are staying, for Francis and for the dragon, because, like, you know there's stuff out there. You guys didn't talk about the Lancer that attacked and was watching you guys, but they're out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know they're out there.
Well, I've kind of been figuring since we were... Excuse me. Kind of been figuring since we were followed most of the way when we were with the army, and we were definitely followed extensively when we weren't with the army, we're probably being followed now.
Okay.
There.
And I mean, I can pass over that information if everybody else isn't already thinking that, but...
Do we know that we're being followed, or just suspicion?
Probably a combination.
Well,
of the two.
I'm under the assumption we're being followed, because we've been followed the rest of the way we're down here, so why wouldn't we be followed now?
Okay.
Khazakha just assumes that you're always being watched in the Underdark, so...
Tommy, so the question about Yarva coming back. Does
Oh
he
yes,
want
I'm
to?
sorry. I totally forgot. That's important. So we're not backtracking, but we're like, Yarva was on hold for 24 hours, and now his time is
rewinding.
freed up. So you contact
The girl from Ipanema goes walking and...
Wedding song.
What was the spell, Donald?
Commune
with dead.
with. So does
Hang on,
simple-
I will
yes,
tell you in just a second. Things are happening when you cast Speak with Dead, or not Speak with Dead. That's the corpse. Commune with Dead is not a spell.
It is on the. It is one of the cleric spells that I get access to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Maybe it's just not on that SRD. I see Speak with Dead.
it is speak with dead. I was thinking.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Commune, speak.
That's you. I understand. Okay, so you give, and everyone sees Yarva's body get the semblance of life. So you're level 9. You get 4 questions.
I have one question. Does he want to come back to? Does he want to come back to life on the meteor plane if I do resurrect him?
Okay, so when you bring him back to life, his eyes flare up with a holy fervor, the likes of which you never would have thought at a simple poor Yarva. And he doesn't say a word. He's gone really almost stoic silent, as his the semblance of life has him standing at attention, and he just shakes his head no.
Okay, that's what I thought the answer was going to be.
Okay.
Ask him if he has gone to be with his deity or not.
Are you with your deity, Yarva? And I think I probably know the answer.
He shakes his head yes.
I thought
Okay.
you said his daddy.
Are you with your daddy?
No. Who's your daddy, Yava? No.
Yep. Well. Anyway, I'm done with my question. Whenever I have time on the surface, I will bury him.
Okay. Does anyone else? I mean, he's there for the next 9 minutes.
Yarva served Serenray, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't change.
Okay.
You wouldn't have the
Kazaha
ability
is
to.
So he probably in Nirvana
is
somewhere.
comforted. Yeah. If he's with Saren Ray. So.
Hey, Yarva, do you know where my snake is?
He shakes his head no, and the third question has been used. Actually, no. He nods his head yes.
What? I didn't realize we had questions. I thought we just got to ask him for 10 minutes.
1 question per 2 caster levels.
Yep.
Oh.
And Lucia knows that, like, the knowledge that Yarva should have, being limited to, like, when he was alive, like, that's been very grossly overridden by something that's happening, or he was way smarter than he was, and you're sure, no, that can't be the case.
I mean, Yarva only had like attention of 10, so he knows that much of it. He knows what he knows.
Yeah.
If no one else offers up a question, Kazaha would have one.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
Does Saren Ray agree with what's going on if you are with her?
Here comes the percentage dice. I'm trying to think how I want to flavor this, because he's obviously undergone some humongous change. It's like this Speak with Dead is rapidly turning almost into like a commune spell or something that would summon an outsider. And he looks at Kazaha, just, it is complicated, comrade. Last question over, he just kind of collapses. As well, he doesn't like, whoop, I fell over. But the soul leaves, because again, this seems a lot more powerful than it should have been. And his body just kind of like collapses in a heap on the ground.
Kazaha is comforted about the idea that he's with Saren Ray, but he's concerned about the complicated answer.
Things never appear what they appear to be on the surface. There are always more to these things.
Well, anyway, we reach day 3. Unless anybody else has anything else they want to do with the downtime. Because you guys technically get 8-ish hours of downtime.
I would be using the downtime to write down additional withered spells during the time when I'm not saying or doing anything important.
Okay, understood.
I have a question. How long had we left the snake behind?
It doesn't have to sleep to catch up.
It's
so.
been 1 week since you looked at me. No.
It would be about 2 days since
you guys would have slept. You slept. It's been 4 days worth of sleep.
No, but I mean, from the point where we crawled up that chute, left the snake behind, and then went up the stairs, and then
that was like 1 day.
That was like 1 day, right?
And then we spent asleep in the radioactive room, and came back down.
Right.
So
and then 2
days.
sleeps since, as you guys.
So once we're back down to 2 days, then the snake should, if able,
have found you.
Pug might expect that if the snake had just traveled in one direction for 2 days, it would be able to travel back in the same in 2 days, assuming nothing happened.
Right. Yeah, that's a logical conclusion. Had it just gone north, it would have picked you up, turned around. And you assume it has, most likely, picked you up, turned around. It's just, that assumes it did something else, went somewhere else.
Didn't fall down a hole.
Yeah. And it's just like it has no climb speed, so it's just like running into a wall over and over again in its desperate attempt to go that direction.
They'd probably start trying to burrow its way out at some point.
Attack the wall.
Pogoing.
I sunder the wall.
Starts causing tremors.
Oh man, if it bursts up through the ground like Tremors the movie.
Seems good. Alrighty. If there's nothing else. Okay. The next day of travel, you guys catch up with make a perception check.
We catch up with a perception check.
A giant D20 rolls across the Darklands because I'm giving you too much information for free.
Oh, that was bad.
The 25? That seems good. You guys are 25, 26, 37,
31.
Hike. Okay, so you catch up with the army today, but instead of coming upon the army on the march, you come upon a scene of a slaughter. Lizard folk dead everywhere. You smell it before you see it. You can almost taste the stench of death in the back of your throat as you guys continue moving in this straight line down a superhighway. And
Every time
you do eventually
catch
get
up
there,
with someone, everyone's dead. I mean, I feel like I should be upset, but this happens every time.
Womp womp.
I am seriously concerned about my well-being, staying in your company.
Is that your way of saying this is too hard, I'm leaving?
So Pogue wants to look around and see if there's any signs of the leaders.
Okay. There's not. It's just dead lizard folk all over the place. A lot of them they haven't been crucified. Like, the Holy Chelish Empire isn't down here, but a lot of them are, heads on their own pikes standing up around the bodies. Some of them are piles of snow. Many of them are not.
Was this what happened under Casimir, too? That was the same type of thing?
It appears more like it was a large-scale battle. There are several dead piles of snow laying around the place, which would lead one to believe that they were attacked.
Okay, Lucia is going to give these lizards their last rites, or what would be cleric duty things.
Alrighty. Most of them wear... It's pretty complicated as far as the holy symbols of Galarion go. It's Apsu's holy symbol, a silver dragon over a disc that almost kind of looks like a little statuette. Some of them have it carved into their scales, some of them have it embroidered on cloaks, things of that nature.
Kazaha is looking over what is left and not turned into snow of the bodies, like the heads and stuff.
And I will aid.
To see if he can determine, was it primarily magic or melee or what, as far as causes of death.
Okay. You can tell, by and large...
Pogue's looking for loot.
Of course you are. Well, there's a lot of arrows that stick out of, just pin cushioning several of the lizard folk that come from, awkward angles relative to their body laying on the ground, which might indicate they were fired on from above. Some of their bodies and the armor they do have is just completely rent asunder, which is indicative of, somebody taking a lance and slamming it into someone's body at full bore.
Are there still bodies, or are they all turned into snow?
Not a lot of snow. The snow is what you assume are bad guys, but the occasional lizard folk too, based on where everything's laying. You guys also do find they're kind of just all over the place now that you go in and start looking around, but especially Francis sees a bunch of leaves just haphazardly strewn all throughout the battlefield, as well as bits of broken bark, which seem to come from Deneb's tree leshy.
Is there
God.
A question. Is there any intact lizard folk bodies?
Several.
Bodies still? What for?
Wait, this means that this happened very recently. Otherwise they would be snow, right?
Not necessarily.
No, we think that only the evil turn into snow.
Yeah.
And the good guys don't.
Yarva's not snow.
Right?
That's correct.
So, is there any...
no one told me this before.
Is there...
I thought it was just because Yarva was dumb.
Is there any dead lizard bodies in the area?
Several. Hundreds and hundreds. It looks like most of the army.
Okay, unless if anyone's going to stop Lucia, she's going to talk to the lizard folk to see what is going on.
So another speak with dead?
No, yes. I'm not going to stop you from talking at him.
Okay.
So
got it.
Grandpa just watches over her shoulder.
so does anyone have any questions about the lizard folks they want to ask?
Well, there's the obvious clarifying questions. How long ago did this happen? Do you know what do you know what did this?
Who did this, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's begin off with who killed these lizard folk.
Okay. He knows. You animate this guy. And he's not pissed. He's not upset with you for animating him, but he comes back not happy that he's been brought back. Who killed you? You ask, and you just. I don't think I have a good lizard folk voice with where my throat is right now without warming up, but just the Dark Elves.
Uh-oh.
Not big surprise. Drown Underdark.
Did you have a look at any symbols on them to identify who killed you?
No, we were fighting.
Kazahan, what is your knowledge of the drow in the region?
That sounds like a... Do you want dungeoneering or local?
Your call.
I am
Everyone's higher, man.
I am trying to figure out which drow
They're the
faction did this.
So it should be this -1.
That's
Yeah, this
22.
-1, so 22.
The drow, they pretty much keep to themselves for the same reason that the dwarves do. There's a massive land empire over their heads, and they don't necessarily want to go picking a fight, though they certainly could. It's also by the notion that they exist is the biggest reason that Taldor/Cheliax have never expanded down, though attempts have certainly been made. They are always repelled by super militant drow. As far as
So they're obviously evil because they turned into snow.
that tracks.
But do they still serve? Are they as evil as they are in the normal setting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Though of course there are exceptions, but by and large, yeah. Super terrible people.
I don't think we don't need drits. You know, I'm
don't.
all right. We don't have to have drits, but
Fair enough. Kazaha can also assume that those lizard folk that didn't die here or escape, and all the, Ularix, his daughter Nemariel, the awakened, no, not awakened, but the half-dragon snake that followed him, as well as Deneb, Silas, and the Oakleshi are nowhere to be found. Which means either they and some of the people got away, or they're slaves now.
Did they take? Do we have more questions?
We have 2 left.
Were they taking prisoners? Would be one of them.
Okay, I just gave it a sec because I wanted to see if anyone wanted to refute the third question. Yes! One more question.
Nobody else has one. I have one.
Yeah, go for it. Francis is like a borderline in a nervous panic.
Hey, did you see a snake go through here?
God
Oh
damn
my
it. Okay. Make a diplomacy check. He's pissed.
He's pissed.
You might be talking about his master's servant. You might be talking about your
mama
viper.
walk through here? No.
Okay,
What?
okay, how about you be more precise? What type of...
He has asked the
what
question.
type of
I have
snake?
called for the diplomacy check.
Oh no, Pug's gotta make a diplomacy check.
Exactly,
Whatever
yeah.
will we do?
He'll get a 34. He looks... he looks really pissed because he assumes that you had met, servants of his lord, much like he was, but then he realizes you're just a stupid, ignorant, smooth skin, and just, no! And then the body collapses.
I thought he said yes.
He said no.
Oh,
He said he was pissed when you asked the question.
He could have been.
no.
Then he realized
been
you weren't
snarky.
talking about somebody else.
Yeah, he could have been snarky and said yes. and then you would have been like, "Oh, there goes my thing," but because
That was the diplomacy
his
check.
master did have one.
All right. That sucks.
Do we want to
I keep
talk?
telling you, Poke, don't worry about it. He will catch up to us. We're not moving faster than your snake.
Look, I waited. I didn't waste a question. I waited, and nobody else had any questions. So it's fair game.
Do we want to talk to any other lizard folk as well?
I don't think we're going to get any information out of them that we didn't get out of this one.
Okay, so do we want to move on?
Well, the question is, does it look like the rest of the army moved on, or that the drow who were taking captives took the rest captive?
Make some kind of check.
Like, do we see, because we're gonna see big, huge track of dragon spittle and junk with them moving an entire army.
That's fair. There are definitely like bits of the cavern over your head that have been eaten away by acid. I think I will still call for a perception check. For
the DC to track an army should be like negative.
Alrighty, so 25, 32. Going once.
Can't believe we got a 25.
Going twice. Well, that's real bad for you, yeah. You guys don't see any notice.
There you go. 40.
You guys don't see any sign that, like, the army continued marching afterwards. Big fight, then it was over.
Do we see any trails going anywhere else?
Probably. Here's a D100. Oh, I rolled a 1. Okay, you see no trails. Zero zip silch. I literally rolled a 1 on the D100. So I was like, yeah, it makes sense. They could have routed some of them, and they could have taken off into the Darklands. No, it was very brutally effective.
Bastards.
Well, at least we know where they all are.
They didn't.
So, like, we should go get them.
There's nothing
There's
to
a
say
very
that they
problem
wouldn't have had other means of egress, like other than die or become a slave, because powerful magic, of course.
Yeah, like, we should go get them, like, right now.
Yeah. Rescue!
This was a fairly recent thing, because their snow hadn't been blown away. So...
We can.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're underground. I don't imagine there's a ton of wind.
We can probably get direction or hints where the captured prisoners went. If we talk to the lizard folk, they've probably seen a few of them flee.
Unless they were already dead when it happened.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think the dead guys saw where the captured prisoners went.
Right.
Well, where's the closest drow city? If we know it's Dark Elves that attacked.
Yeah. I was about to ask.
And do Dark Elves ride bats?
Well,
feasibly?
They can.
Or giant spiders.
Most of the time, most of the time they like spiders.
So
I think they like spiders in this setting anyway.
Do you know anybody who's got a thing for bats?
Me personally? Well,
know of any tribes or clans or nations or whatever you call.
Or the whatchamacallit.
The whatchamacallit.
The groups.
It's this -1 to know of nearest drow city and people that fly on bats around here.
So the nearest drow city that Kazuha's aware of would be in Sekamina, which is the second layer of the Darklands, which is about as far down as you need to go up to get back to the surface, if not a little farther. So far as riding bats go, mounted, like, flying cavalry is pretty common everywhere you go on Galarion right now. Though, of course, and especially in caverns, because spider climb is really terrifying when you have a spider the size of an elephant that's fully geared out with lancers and siege engines and a bunch of crazy stuff. That is a very common tactic for the drow to use, but like flying scout cavalry and or like a screening force and or just to like charge in, back up, charge again, it's not unheard of. It's you get the feeling it's a little more like when the drow decide they need to go somewhere in force, that's what happens. It's more common for that knife in the dark, the poison, the show up, stabby, run away. In this case, it's much more serious.
Well, I can sympathize with wanting to go down and find them. And I can sympathize with those that would want to go up. We have to go down the same amount we have to go up to get to at least Sekamina. But there's no guarantee. That's just the closest one. We may find them on the way down. They probably haven't moved that many people. Moved all of those slaves. In such
So
a
what
short time,
happens?
all the way
What's
down to Sekamina.
gonna happen if we walk into a drow city?
Nothing good. Nothing good.
We're gonna get our people back. Is what's gonna happen.
Or we're gonna be reunited with them.
You want to find them before they get to the city. Otherwise,
Well, then we should go now.
But we don't know where to go because there's no trail.
I can take you to the main causeway to get the main way I know to get down there, and we may be able to intercept them. Or at least the closest down there. But
Either
again,
way.
Okay. Just as long as you guys know that we're going to be facing a sizable force that was able to take on a magic elf man with his big black dragon and a big tree that had a bunch of faces on it, on its leaves, with the little girl. And yeah, this is definitely not something to do boom big, as he says.
Well, yeah, but they also had an ambush. Now we've got the element of surprise.
Hopefully.
Like, that's what I'm telling myself, because we're going. Or I'm going.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
If we don't go, we go to the surface. What do we go to the surface for? We need these people to fight.
You do. You guys do also know that it was contingent for Ularix to take his army and join the rebellion. Was like Silas was going to go do something to prevent Ragnarok, so his cold-blooded followers wouldn't die horrible deaths.
Or at least warm things up some, right?
Yeah.
Here is what I see the situation. We go down there, ambush the drow, or try to find the prisoners, and then go back to the surface. Or we could go to the surface. Either way, I'm thinking having the necessary aid from the lizard folk will be a great asset to us. So part of me want to go down, but part of me want to go up. But I leave it up to the party decision.
Then I guess we go down.
Yeah, we're going down.
Okay. We would start leading him to the closest causeway, and we're gonna go. Not. I would prefer it if everyone else would also roll stealth, because I don't think it'd be a good idea for us to go just straight out running.
Right. So I'm going to take off my Ring of Force Shield, and I'm going to put on my Ring of Invisibility.
What's the other ring you're wearing?
I imagine Ring of Protection.
Right.
You can
wear them. You can wear them all. You just have to choose which ones you're using.
All right. Well, that's what I'm doing.
Not know that.
Yeah.
That makes
It's
sense.
just you can only have 2 active at the same time.
So I've got those are the 2 that are active right now.
Alrighty. So let's make those stealth checks. Oh, Francis.
+4 in crowds.
Fair enough. Well, the whole squad didn't show up today, so no crowd.
Well, I'm going to be terrible at stealth, so I'm going to use my hero point.
Did you not already use your hero point?
No.
It was Adam.
I haven't used it yet.
Okay.
Okay. So plus if we're moving 20, plus another 2 for dim light or darkness.
Gotcha.
So 68.
All right. Yeah. Pogue is gone. Gone. Pogue is disappeared.
Well, I mean, he's literally invisible.
Yeah. Francis is a little less so. Francis is too pissed off to sneak at the thought of his poor niece being...
You shine a
captured by these
flashlight
people.
on me, you can't see me.
As you guys begin moving, you're very confident this is what you're going to do, but Kazuha would know that the closest way down would be to go... I'm looking at the board. Where do I want to take you guys? Where's the closest way down?
It's lovely how arbitrary the GM's like, where do I want to take you guys?
I don't know that. I mean, I've kind of looked at the Darklands splat book, but I need a little room for improv in my campaigns, or I get bored.
In the book, there's a Darkland map of where things are, but not exactly where up and down exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we need is a map of where our people are. So if you could,
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
that'd be great.
Just where everybody is at all times.
The way down. He needs the Marauders
board
map.
looks like on a... I looked at what that video game looks like. You know where everybody is at all times.
It is a shame that wait. So can I use a recomposed corpse on the drow body that's been turned to snow?
You're not sure. You haven't tried.
Okay, I'm going to try that option before we go down.
Okay,
So,
sure. Let me read the spell really fast.
Are we gonna just have to kill him again?
No, what he's doing
no.
is he's taking a body that's been like destroyed and putting it back together in such a way that
yeah,
it could be
what I'm
animated.
trying to do here is I have a spell that I can actually use part of the flesh to actually make a treasure map. So if I know,
Nice.
so in theory, if I use one of the transmutation spells, I can focus on the drow location or where they are going to be potentially using the map.
Okay. So
Yeah,
it's awkward. I'm gonna roll percentage dice. If I get higher than 50, it'll turn it back into a person. If I get lower than 50, it becomes a pile of snow that has drow flesh on top of it, which is gross. Okay, so it does work. We don't have grossness. You are able to put the body back together.
okay. I use
a pretty
the
good-looking
we're
drow
still
woman.
gonna have grossness. We're still gonna have grossness, I'm pretty sure.
yeah. I'm going to use part of the flesh to make a map where the drow camps are.
As per what spell?
It would be a transmutation spell, corpse map, or it's one of the transmutation spells. I can't remember what it's spell called, but you can make a rough treasure map off of a dead corpse.
Okay.
Yeah, so
yeah, that is a spell. I can't think of the
Create
name.
treasure
Yeah.
map?
yeah, it is one of those spells, but the component you need to use a dead corpse to make a treasure map. So
Okay, so we're going to
I'm
assume
thinking-
that Lucia is holding all of her spell slots open, because I'm assuming Create Treasure Map wasn't prepped at the beginning of the day. And that's relevant. That's relevant because I still want to know what the prep casters are prepping, but it's not necessarily relevant in this session.
Yeah,
And I didn't ask for it. So
I haven't used all of my spell slots,
which
so
is
I do leave a few open.
and I will need to know. Go ahead and do it now while I'm looking
That's why
at
I
this.
gave you a Google Doc. It updates in real time.
And that's beautiful. But Donald's didn't, and if it gets down to combat, it will be you have what you have prepped. And if you don't have it, then you're shooting with a crossbow. So go ahead and get that together now for me, including the spells you've cast today.
Okay.
I'm sorry, dude. The struggle of the prep caster.
Yeah, I get it.
Hey, you'd be a bard stuck with shitty spells for a whole level.
Bards have great spells. Bards are amazing. I love bards.
I do too, but I'm disappointed with those spells I have at this level.
Okay, so it reveals the locations of any valuables the creature knew about while still alive. Okay, so the spell does fail because it appears that this person died more than 24 hours ago.
That's information.
Kazuha knows that it is information indeed. You guys would need to go. You almost have to backtrack to get down to the biggest entrance to Sekamina that isn't just try to find tunnels down and hope for the best. You're looking at almost directly under the city of Opara. is where the Druger and the Sphere of Nebulin and the Drow have a pretty big trade road, which is more like move slaves along it for money road.
So
it's
if
far
they've
off.
been dead more than 24 hours, we didn't see any signs of travel coming this way aside from the army.
Correct.
So why would we go back?
So that means that their exit down must have been closer than where we would backtrack to.
That tracks.
So-
Logically.
So we passed it?
Unless there's something else going on that does track.
So we need not backtrack further than we slept last night.
Assuming you don't want to go to Second Meetup, yeah. We'll go to Second Meetup by the path that Kazaha knows.
Because if we do, we'll be missing them anyway. Because their path will go down a different way, and we won't catch them before they get to the city.
And we need to find them before then.
So we have to look between where we are now and where we camped last night.
Okay. As you guys are making your way back, I grabbed the percentage dice. You see a man. He looks pretty cool. He has percentage dice. No, I'm not that cocky. All right.
Uh-oh.
You come upon... Let me see. I didn't make a handout of her. I didn't know how much you guys would appreciate handouts versus like theater of the mind stuff, so I just didn't do it.
You come upon a man.
You come upon a man.
He's a woman.
She's great.
It's a woman.
It's awkward. Now you come upon... It's hard to tell because the body has been very, very maimed, but it appears to be Ularix's daughter dead.
No!
Her body is... There's a couple of stalactites that hang down far enough that a 50-foot of rope can tie her arms up to those stalactites at like 45-degree angles from her body. And yes, I'm like kind of half measuring from my own arm at the moment. And her legs are spread at about the same angle, just tied up in a big X hanging over.
All right, Lucia, can you bring her back to life? And is there any loot?
I cannot resurrect her.
I don't think you need literally back.
Yeah, that's just
to ask her where... You know what I mean.
I'm gonna cut her down. I don't remember why this woman's important, but clearly she is.
I am not a cleric, and I don't have the power to raise the dead.
No, just to find out
I can raise the undead, but not the dead.
He can raise dead, just not with consent and not the way you want.
No,
and to answer Kane, she's important because she's the daughter of a black dragon.
Right. Okay. I'm bad with names.
I won't go so far as to call her princess because the title doesn't necessarily track where they're from.
Black Dragon Princess.
More or less. That's a good way to remember it.
Black Dragon Princess. I don't know.
And title name.
Yeah. And necromancers make undead. They cannot resurrect dead, unfortunately.
Pretty sure he was asking you to cast Speak with Dead.
Also, I should note also that she has been stripped naked. She had a lot of very nice gear before. She was definitely a NPC with lots of character levels. And now she no longer has them.
Now she no longer has a character sheet.
No, she does. She's had a character sheet almost as long as I played Dungeons and Dragons.
Nope, not anymore. You set that shit on fire. She's dead now, forever.
Yep. She's ripped in half.
Poe, I used my prepared spell for the day for that.
On that note, you guys begin talking about whether or not, like, casting Speak with Dead would be a thing as Francis is cutting the poor woman down and has, like, the two...
we pass her?
As the bits, like, holding her arms up and keeping her suspended midair are cut down, she leans forward and her head, like... continues going forward, falls off her neck, and just with a sickening thud hits the ground.
Oops.
Jesus!
Dude, that's one way to get head from her.
Thus I will hit you.
I think
it's a little much.
Okay, if you can catch me. Too soon? Too soon.
Too soon.
Too soon?
Like literally less than 24 hours from her death. That's too soon.
Let's put the body into. Does someone have a bag of holding to put the body in so we can at least?
Hopefully you don't have to use it if you have to hide from radiation again.
Yeah, well, can you, like, wrap her up or something to make sure she doesn't get the inside all messy?
I suppose, God, I can't think. I know there's a spell that stops a corpse.
I didn't take
from
gentle repose.
repose. That's it. There we go.
I actually do have a scroll of that already made. I have like 10.
Yeah, I suppose the necromancer would need them.
Yeah, that's super relevant.
You wanted,
It is such a useful necromancy spell, so I have like 10 of them ready.
you want to cast it on her and I'll stick her in a bag?
Yes, let's put the body into the bag.
Yeah, as far as meta knowledge goes, assuming that Black Dragon's still alive, that'd be some nice brownie points to give him his daughter's body back.
Yeah.
Yep.
On the note of the body, I won't necessarily shoelace it. Kazaha knows that this is, well, probably everyone, because no one's coming from a super nice background. Her body hanging this way appears to be a warning. Like, they didn't just do this for no reason. They
Oh yeah, you don't string people up from the ceiling just for funsies.
behind where they were.
Unless you served on Kuthon, but
Yeah, but they're usually alive and wailing. It's a whole thing with them.
yeah. Would Kazaha know? Kazaha probably would know if this was a common practice for the drow down here.
It's a common practice for the drow when their hackles are raised. Usually, again, it's knives in the dark, it's poison, it's ambushes, and then they disappear, never to be seen again. But now, like, something's got them pissed off. You don't know what, but it appears they're directing that anger towards you guys at the moment, and possibly well and truly against this army.
So, Kazaha, if you were a drow, why would you be angry?
Oh, because I was purple. Because
I'm too purple! Kill everyone in the world!
But
You
I-
are kind of purple.
I mean,
Yeah.
in particular,
No, I'm
though.
not. I am not purple.
You're like
I
a little
am
bit
very-
purple.
No, don't talk that way.
You're like
you,
if someone had
Francis.
taken Grape Crush and left it out in the sun for a really long time and it gotten bleached by the sun. You're like that kind of purple.
No, that is just my blood vessels showing through my very, very pale skin.
Yeah, it was like a fuchsia, which is kind of a purple. I'm taking on your accent. I gotta stop.
No.
Well, at least you're not worried about hitting.
Oh, I don't have to hit you. I just need to catch you in a spell effect. See how fast you are in the middle of a softened earth.
Evasion works wonders.
It doesn't do
Okay.
damage.
Boom!
Boom. All right. Any hoozle.
So
Which Pogue never says, by the way.
Well,
No, that's a Van original. You know,
No, that's not even a van thing.
It is now. You done did it. You done did it right now.
We need editing, Tommy. Okay, so go on.
So after putting the body into the bag, do we want to let's continue down the tunnel?
So we're going back from whence we came, and then we're going to try to cut over from Casimir to Apara underground, and then make our way to Sekamina.
Is that
We're
the way it
looking-
goes?
we were looking for the pathway that they took down because it had to be between our camp last night and the place we found them, and probably close to this warning spot.
Okay, so that might require a little more. Unless you guys just want to straight head back the way you came. I'm not saying you can't, but it also tracks that a little bit of digging around in the Darklands would not be the worst idea here.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for. I mean, I know you said there were no tracks, which kind of limits our options, but I'm gonna look for tracks.
Okay, sure. Make a survival check.
29.
The only tracks you find are yours, which would it's indicative of the fact, because you guys are all smart cookies. That's indicative of the fact that these guys are probably all flying.
Yeah, flying or on the ceiling.
Well, Francis has a climb speed. I'm assuming you're smart enough to check the ceiling.
How would they transport the slaves? Would they have them flying?
Well, they could tie them to sticks.
Oh man, that's both terrible and amazing. Just time. They become like weird water skiers.
Pogue's looking for bat droppings.
One option is the bats. Based upon how big they are, they could at least carry a few of the lizard folk.
Yes, Van, you find bat droppings. You gross. And I guess the survival check would also turn those up. So...
Yeah, but
not that gross considering it's a spell component.
I didn't. Yeah, I don't cast Fireball.
Guano!
Guano ball.
Yeah,
Yeah, Lucy's just running around spell components.
Yeah, hey, Paizo, second edition, make scaling spell components, where if you got Dire Bat Guano, it's a better fireball.
Yeah, that, and if you want to cast Fireball at a higher spell level, you need a bigger poop.
Yes.
You want to cast Fireball from a 9th level spell slot, you need a catapult and the biggest ball of bat shit you've ever done seen.
I have so many ideas now for Waco, my new siege mage.
Alright. So does that tell us where they're going?
You can't necessarily use Bat Guano to determine the direction. That's a pretty good title for the episode as well.
We could establish like a common flight path, but maybe not necessarily direction.
Yeah.
Like I understand there's not like
unless you guys specifically want to go back, find more Bat Guano, and like make knowledge nature checks to determine the oldness of that Bat Guano to then determine the direction they're going, which is possible.
Hey old man, how old's the Bat Guano?
Alright, give me a second.
I will.
Well, like I'm saying, we could probably figure out what tunnels they were using. I'm just saying we might not necessarily know which direction they went. How old is the... Would that be another survival check?
I think I'd let survival go. Survival or knowledge nature.
25.
And Lucy has
22.
I think my survival's probably better than my knowledge nature, honestly.
So, you guys have found yourself with a game master who's trying to word this carefully, because I don't want to be that gross, but the guano is very fresh. That
doesn't bother. I'm a plant man now.
You are a
you
plant
think poop bothers me? I'm like, fertilizer.
And the other one's a necromancer, so...
He's taking up scoops of it like, nom nom.
So
rich in nitrogen!
this one's really fresh. It's like yogurt.
You fed this bat corn!
This is fresh.
Probably like an hour old.
So they are within the region area.
The bats are like that isn't necessarily indicative of there's everyone right there so much as those bats were.
Yeah, I kind of wish we had daylight spells, but that's not. I don't think that's something I do either. Anyway.
Do laden bats take bigger craps?
I do not think wizards get access to the daylight spell.
I don't think they do either. I could be wrong. I should.
I'm gonna look up the spell real quick just to be sure.
I think it's clerics, paladins.
I don't have light prepped for today.
Bard, cleric, druid. Oh, it is a druid spell. Inquisitor, mage,
druid.
paladin,
That's
shaman,
me.
sorcerer. No, and sorcerer wizard gets it too.
Fair enough. Yeah, I thought it was either everybody or just the divine cast.
What, daylight?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What level is it for a bard?
3.
I'll be there in another 10 levels, I think. Jesus.
You gotta be careful
levels
with
of bard do you
multiclassing
have?
the gishes.
Cog.
I got 4. I'm thinking about doing 5, but even then, like, as opposed to 5e, I'd be a 3rd level caster by now.
Yeah. I think bards will get that buff in 2nd edition as well. I think they'll be 1st to 10th. I guess we'll know that soon. Anywho.
Well, I already have this list, so I suppose I don't have it prepped.
But you're a divine caster. You can spend an hour.
I didn't prep it.
Okay. So why do we want daylight?
To mess up
Oh,
things with
it would
light
be
sensitivity.
useful in the Underdark. That and for no other reason than we could check really, really tall caverns for the ceiling without having to climb all the way up there.
That is also true.
What about the light?
Like down here, daylight makes you a target too.
This is true. That's what I'm thinking.
I'm willing to attract a little attention. I don't know about the rest of you. I'm just saying Francis personally.
No, I'll stand in the corner.
I would prefer not to attract any more attention than we need to in the caves.
What has a climb speed? I could turn into Amigo, which has a fly speed.
It does. We talked about those guys on the Forgotten Race route.
I've actually turned into one of those before on this channel.
You have? You really have. It's so weird that that's a plant.
I think they have stats in Starfinder.
Nice.
Oh,
They probably do. They're like a spacefaring race.
so what are you using to transform into the Migo?
A
Wild
wild
shape.
shape. Migo are plant creatures.
Just so weird. But
They're fungus men from outer space.
yeah, and that says aberration
not
to
that
me.
weird.
But
Fungus.
Among
All right,
Us.
kids. Are you turning into one or not?
Yeah, all right.
Sorry,
yeah, I'm gonna
Dad.
turn
I have two
into-
dads now. Hooray!
Woohoo!
Well, Tommy, at least you are not the main character in the Broadway show Mamma Mia that had 3 dads.
I mean, I have a biological father as well, and then I have the Pathfinder, and now I have a rogue who's ready to get back to the adventure. So 3 dads.
You're not the first one to call Pogue Daddy. Just saying. Woo!
The first one in this room.
So what is the plan,
And you won't
gentlemen?
be the last.
We've
Yeah,
got
turn into a weird bug thing. And I'm probably gonna have to cast beast speak. Because I don't think any of you speak glowy bulb face.
Aklo.
I think
Don't they speak Migo? I thought that was their
They
language.
speak Migo, Aklo, Common, as per their entry. And they can also, like, I think Migo itself is... Yeah, it totally is. It's just, like, the flashing of lights and the
They speak
head changes
Common?
weird colors. But it sounds really weird and
They
clicky and
can.
planty. They prefer to speak with their strange plant stuff.
I actually know Akko, so I can actually talk it.
Super relevant.
Alright, well I guess that'll work then.
Okay. What happens next?
Well, I can scout from the air. It's a 50-foot fly speed with good maneuverability.
Okay.
Aklo, Common, and Migo, but they can't speak.
Fair enough.
So the only language I can actually communicate in is Migo, unless I cast Beast Speak.
In which case, I guess the Migo just becomes like words scrolling across your head.
Somebody learns to speak semaphore or something.
Akko, is there a sign language or any hand signal for
Well,
this?
there's Drow sign
I
language,
was
but
gonna
it's
say
a
there's
secret
definitely
language.
a sound language or a sign language that's super relevant for this session.
Not one that I know. I know a different secret language. Not sign language.
Yeah. So we continue back the way we came. Francis is scouting ahead.
Yes.
Okay. So you guys probably find, and I will say it can be in one day. This happens. Like continue moving forward. You find Namariel's body pretty early. Kazuha is able to lead everybody else through without incident, again dodging that Dwemer sink, and it's pretty peaceful for Francis. But towards the end of the day, Francis comes upon, and everyone else behind him, but Francis first comes upon, there's probably 300 or 400 of them. The lizard folk that once served the Black Dragon Ularix standing in Undeath. They see you. They don't react, other than like their heads just kind of turn automatically towards a perceived thing. And they just kind of stand there with their hands at their sides. Francis comes upon it first. Francis gets the chance to react before Lucia Pogue Kazuha.
Yeah, I'm
Undead
gonna
lizard folk?
fly back and tell them There's a bunch of dead lizard folks. Lizard folks.
Bug looks at Kazan and says, "Is that even a thing?"
What do you mean?
Apparently.
Like, do drow do that?
Oh yeah. They do that.
They make undead armies?
Well, I mean, not armies normally, but apparently they did.
Well, like there's a couple hundred of them.
But I mean, is it the drow or somebody else, man?
Don't know. Did
I
you
don't
see
know.
any-
I just found them dead. Fuckers.
Did you see anybody else?
No, just
Maybe
them.
they weren't quite dead? Jesus.
I don't know. Hold on, I'll go check again.
All right. Make a perception check then. They're
27.
all very dead. Hundreds of lizard folk that have been brought back as zombies. Standing not at attention attention's the wrong word. Attention has left their brain. So standing
How about rest?
Yeah, at rest. There we go. That works.
At ease.
So, are they standing in a passageway off the side of the way we came, or they standing in the way we came?
Directly in the way you came, just like it's probably like 9 or 10 of them wide to cover the entire passage from one side to another.
So
Are they
come up
rank and
behind us.
file, like in lines, or are they just like a mass?
Combination of both.
So,
Wait,
Which would be
So they
rank and
came
file
up-
for unintelligent undead.
So they came up behind us?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
so do we? They are probably going to fight us. Am I correct?
That's a good
Well,
question. That's a
Well,
question
we don't know.
that the character
I'm
has
pretty
to figure
sure.
out.
I'm pretty sure they saw me, but they didn't do anything about it.
And he doesn't see any of the leaders of that particular troop.
He does
along
not.
with them.
There might be a lizard folk that's like head and shoulders taller than the rest of them, which would indicate like his own physical prowess, a sort of rank, but not anyone important reanimated.
Is it possible with my knowledge of undead and the Miko seeing the undead to see if any of them are sentient enough to be the leader?
You would need to approach them, but I mean certainly.
Yeah, I'm asking Francis, did any of them appear more alert?
They did
More
not. It just seems like a giant mass. Which is
Yeah,
it's,
like I
it's
said,
kind of
they-
rank and file, but it's also kind of just a mass of zombies.
They saw me, but they didn't do anything about it. I'm pretty sure they're empty upstairs.
So, was there any exits or anything that you can see? We still have to find our way down, right?
That's an excellent question. Does that require another check?
Yeah, I think you make another perception check. Yeah.
Alright.
Different information. A 37.
37.
Ooh. Those are some spicy numbers.
It's much better than the 6 I rolled last time.
You certainly could fly over them with no problem. They seem to not mess with you that much, and the ceiling's only in this part maybe like 50 feet high. So you're definitely in the range increment of the bows that some of them carry, but they do nothing. And there's nothing saying you guys couldn't just all pile on top of the carpet and fly and just completely bypass them. But there's no, like, convenient, oh, here's a secret passage, here's a tunnel that goes up, haha, nothing like that. There
Yeah,
seems-
but with our luck, the carpet will take a sudden roll. As its warranty
Dump you into
runs
the
out.
mess.
Right.
Oops!
Hey, I got a pretty good use magic device. I can do that fine, but
Oh, I can roll Zandu's as well.
So these zombies, are they just normal zombies?
You would need to approach them. Francis isn't sure.
The normal
Francis
lizard
doesn't
zombies.
do all that necromancy stuff.
Normally, when I'm dealing with the dead, it's in a more final.
You mean like you're eating them?
I'm
No,
gonna turn you into
final,
plant
not
food.
Cuisinal.
Turn you into plant food, boy.
Well, yes,
They-
also that.
Your
Based
compost.
upon what type of zombies they are, it means we're going to have an easy time killing them, or a bit more of a harder time, based upon what type of zombie they are.
I don't think the drow make low quality thralls.
They're not cheap knockoffs, huh?
No.
These are just probably slow away servants that the drow or the necromancer made.
I mean, but yeah, you could just try and fly over him. It's an option.
Yeah. So the plan. So the plan. We're going to use the magic carpet, and I'm going to use my dragon to fly over the zombies.
Is that what you guys want to do?
Well, I mean, I can do that by myself because I can fly. But they're like, I know that I can fly over them, and they haven't stopped me. I have no reason to believe that you could not also fly over them.
How long are they? How deep are they?
Well, you said 10 across.
There's hundreds of them.
Oh, okay.
Pretty deep.
Probably about 20, 30 lines.
So if we want to fight our way through, that's one option, but I don't want to cause any problems that we don't need to fight them.
Well, I don't want to fight through them, but wondering if we can sneak through them, or if I can sneak through them. But we could do this
You
flank
are
carpet.
invisible.
This is true.
So if we fly, so how tall are the caves exactly?
Again, this
50
part is
feet.
like 50 feet. You'll be well within the range increment of some of the simple ranged weapons they're carrying, but it's not like they have climb speeds or dimension door or something that you're aware of.
If we fly over, it means if we do metaphorically and literally stir the hornet nests, we have to fight all the zombies coming out.
Xandu's rolling out the carpet. He's
All
getting up on top of it. He's got that crystal ball.
What is he making you
everybody
use
get-
magic device check?
He's using them magic devices
It
for
passes.
25.
You get an action point for botting Xandu. It passes with flying colors.
Hazaha is going to step up there too. He's going to have a... I don't know. He doesn't really have anything to prepare. Doing so.
I mean, you could just aid me on the UMDs.
Yeah. I guess if we start up, I do have some acid flask. I have some alchemist fire still stored in my sash.
Just dump all that shit off the back.
Alright, Pogo get up there too, and
Oh, we got that necklace of fireballs.
Real good.
Splorpy.
it's
What
true.
about Splorpy?
No, I took it out of Splorpy.
Oh,
Remember,
that's
because
right,
we
were
used it
saying-
on the Gugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How that thing ended up inside him without exploding is beyond me, but...
Lucky he's not a fire ooze, otherwise, well, he'd have been immune to it. And nothing would have
Electricity
happened.
burns things.
Hey man, it has electric damage, not fire damage.
I thought it was
Not if
lucky.
it's not grounded. What? Anyway.
Alright, we're flying. They're flying. I'm flying separately, but also flying.
Okay, so you're able to pass over the undead horde and it doesn't do anything. It looks up at you guys and it registers your existence. But unless you guys interact with them or want to have checks or something, they do nothing. Pass over it.
Yep, that's real unsettling. Don't like it.
Okay, so where's this ramp down or whatever?
It's very, very far back.
looking.
Again, you'd be going back to Casimir, and then from Casimir, it's probably...
So the GM's saying that we cannot go the way that they went. We can only go that way.
Oh, no, you can. You certainly, you could find their way. Yeah, I'm not... The GM's not saying, haha, only one path. What he's saying is Kazaha only knows of the one.
Right, no. So we're looking for the path because they're within a day from me.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been looking
We
for their...
know that.
They
Yeah, we know that because of how freshly dead what's your name is, and the fresh guano.
That's fair. But you guys, without perception checks, you don't find any other paths as you fly over the thing. The rest of the day does pass uneventfully. 24, 35.
A text message.
A text message. I had it in my head.
37.
Facebook.
37.
37. Donald? Okay, so 24, 35, and 37. You guys find a lot of passages as you begin moving through. You guys are flying a little higher now than you were, like, coming through here before. And there are definitely a lot of passages ranging in size from the size of a Gug's forearm to the size of, like, a giant. Where they go, where they lead, what's on the other side, no clue. But they are certainly there.
One of the larger ones.
Yeah.
They had to fly.
And looking for guano.
There is no guano, no poop up here. The poop is probably, it probably falls down when the bats do the pooping.
Yeah, it does. Gravity does affect poop, as it does affect all things.
Bored drow wizard casts reverse gravity on his bat's butt, and it
Poop everywhere!
Asteroid belt.
So while we are flying, do we see any poop on the ground?
Would you like to go look?
Can we see it up
From 50
from
feet
the
up,
air?
no, you can't see poop.
Should we have gone down after going over the lizards?
You could have.
I assumed the lizards were still here.
Well, we go past them. Are we past them now?
Yeah, you guys are.
Right.
Yeah.
We were only going past the lizards.
Right. Then
What do you want? Yeah, we can fly closer to the ground. I'll fly closer to the ground.
Then you guys... Do you find poop? That's a
I
good
got
question.
blind sight.
No more poop. Poop is gone.
There's no more poop.
So how do we find tunnels? Cause which tunnels? And do they mark them or anything?
Not
Well-
with marks that we usually see.
Drow street signs.
They might arcane mark them, but most of the time we just remember where everything is.
Not a lot of tourism in the Underdark.
No. They must have gone down a larger one because they had their flying mount. The bats wouldn't be able to have a very large wingspan. The bats would need a very large wingspan to be able to support the riders, so it must have been something at least in the giant-sized or the very large pathways.
No, that's a good thought. Either they have to be going down tunnels large enough for large plus-sized bats to fly through, which is pretty big, or they would have had to have dismounted and walked on foot.
Both of
In which case we'd see bat
Yeah, we'd be
trails,
able to follow tracks.
and they would be much slower then.
Yeah. So if there are no tracks on the ground, then they must still be flying.
Yeah, there's no tracks.
Okay.
How long can bats fly with riders on them?
Same as
That's a
the
question
forest
that
creature.
you wouldn't really know without checks. A lot of checks too, because they could be like knowledge arcana for what is up with this bat or things of that nature.
Okay,
On the subject of nature, 30 on knowledge nature indicates that it's about the same as riding any other animal. There would be points where, unless you want to ride the thing to death, you have to dismount and walk for a little while.
So
you
that's
guys
what,
haven't
8
seen-
hours?
You guys haven't seen tracks, so
Yeah, and they'd have to water them and feed them too.
also
one option is they probably cast I can't remember the one ranger spell, pass without trace, probably.
it's entirely possible.
I feel like we either go down to Sekneva the normal way, or we pick one of these big ones and take the chance.
By the end of today, if you guys keep traveling, or rather probably more like the middle of tomorrow, because time gets a little wibbly-wobbly when you stop for events, you'll be back at where you slept in a stalagmite and where you go up into the old dwarf city.
So we went in a big circle.
Pretty much. More like a line going up and back.
Well, wait a minute. How come we couldn't keep going forward?
You didn't want to.
I thought we had made an assumption that they couldn't go that way.
What I was understanding was you wanted to go back towards where Kazaha knew where an entrance to Sekamina.
Oh, okay,
which is back where you came.
And we didn't keep moving forward because there was no dragon breath stuff on the walls anymore,
right,
which means everybody was captured.
But what if they were captured and then they moved forward to go down?
It's entirely possible.
It did. Yeah, but we found the body going backwards, which means they had to travel back.
True. Okay.
So going down, if we do take the larger tunnel, is that about the same amount of travel time as if we are going down the same we're on at the current moment?
No, because the larger tunnel will take you back to Casimir. Once you get to Casimir, then you have to cut southeast. Well, Tommy turns and looks at his map of the inner sea that's hanging behind him. Okay, so you guys realize you've been pretty much a straight line to Casimir, which means some of the superhighway you've used goes under the inner sea, which is super sweet from like my headcanon, because I think going under the ocean is super tight. Anyway, you would continue moving back like towards Casimir and through it, and then eventually you would have to turn to get under Opara. That turn probably constitutes about like 2 days travel through smaller passages. But this will certainly...
But we need to get them before they get to the city.
Kazahan, what is the best option we have at our hand? I don't want the little folk to get to the city with us getting a advantage on the ground there. You are the expert of the Darklands. So
and the expert of the Darklands has told you that the only entrance to Sekamina that he is aware of is under Opara. Or rather, excuse me, the only entrance to... Not the only entrance to the Darklands, there are several. The only entrance to Sekamina is there. So... You're going off his best plan. That he's... Well, his best plan based on what he knows.
The closest one that I know of.
Yeah.
And it comes to us, if they continue to travel through flight, we also will have to, if we want to keep up. And we may need to travel through the night to catch up to them, if we want to get ahead of them. And they're not going to probably go the main way.
All of these things track.
They are going to go a different way, which means the closest place that I know to go to is that spot there. And then we get to the Drow City, or just outside of it, and we have to wait. Not far from it.
Okay.
If we get ahead of them. And that would be dangerous, because they're going to be patrolling around the Drow City. As it stands now, we have a very small chance of succeeding, but I will help you find your niece, he returned to Francis, because you are my friend.
Thank you, Kazuha.
And she's kind of cute, even if she's related to you.
And also like 8.
Yeah, she's like 8 years old.
Hey, I can have a soft spot for kids without having to be anything like that.
Fine. Well, all right, fine. You have a record, is what I'm saying.
Little kids,
I have a record of being the kid. Not.
That doesn't make me feel better, strangely enough.
Little kids. They're adorable that I like. And seeing them hurt my heart as well.
Yeah, unless they're halflings. I know.
I mean, even halflings have feelings. You know.
I suppose you're technically.
Wow.
Every single sentient being have feelings to one extent or another.
Hazaha would say rather sarcastically, I guess it just means that some people's feelings are more important than others' cherished.
True. When it comes to emotional intelligence, certain beings have more emotions than others.
Like Chelish nobility, obviously.
Boom.
So should we all jump on this carpet then, because it doesn't have to sleep?
You would be able to cover a lot of ground.
Do we have to disable? Do we have to dismantle the dragon again?
The dragon doesn't need to sleep and flies roughly the same speed, I think, as the carpet does. I forget the fly speeds of everything, but like
Similar.
If Francis was to use magic device on the carpet to pilot it, he could, in theory, just pilot it forever.
I could, but my UMD is not so hot.
So it's kind of like handing an 8-year-old the keys to your car, but that 8-year-old doesn't have to sleep.
So what is
Yeah, but that 8-year-old's hopped up on cocaine. It doesn't need to sleep.
What is
My 8-year-old
what is your UMD?
Well, he's a druid. He's wisdom-based. His charisma's... I don't remember. I haven't looked at his sheet in a while, but I assume his charisma's dumped pretty hard.
That's a 13, but I don't have any ranks in UMD because I'm a druid and I don't need UMD.
Yeah.
I have a UMD, but it is pretty low. It's only +6.
Mine's +11.
Between myself...
Mine's +1.
Between myself and Xanadu, or Zandu.
Xanadu.
Or
Xanadu.
Xanadu! Between myself and Zandu, we could probably fly it for a long time, and Francis would only have to do it for one watch out of them.
That's true. You'd only have to let that hopped up 8-year-old behind the wheel for about 8 hours.
And,
It's not hard to follow this main path.
could probably...
You just take a left up there, a right at the next one, 2 more lefts after that, go down, not up at the next one, then you take another turn at the fork in the road that leads to a tri-fork in the road, and then you go up to the third.
Makes sense.
Okay, I got, don't crash.
Yeah.
I don't know if I figured that out with an 11, but probably not.
So is this Francis is trying to fly the thing?
I was mostly doing that for effect,
Okay,
but
because you have no idea.
yeah, I was gonna say if that's the idea, then yes, but mostly that was for effect.
Francis puts his hand on the crystal ball trying to figure this out, and nothing happens. He pushes on it a little bit, like, pissed off that it's not going. Go! Why don't you go? Nothing happens.
Doesn't this thing have an autopilot? Or a GPS?
Nope. You probably wouldn't have service if it had a GPS. You're pretty far underground.
What is Splorpy's use magic device?
Well, I mean,
better than yours.
It's probably better than mine. Well, it's a
good news
charisma. His charisma is 1, so it's -5.
He has a hero point.
Even awakened, his charisma is 1.
He wasn't awakened. He had a a headband of vast intelligence.
Yeah, he's got an int of 6.
Oh, so he still has no will of his own.
Yeah. He just kind of follows you around. But again, the good news is if Splorpy, like, accidentally eats that crystal ball, Francis can just pull it right out.
Yeah.
Oh, no!
Oh, no, you don't!
Don't put that in your mouth. You don't know who's... Oh, he would say it. Don't put that in your mouth. You don't know who's been touching it.
Hey, don't suck that up inside. Zandu's had his hands all over it. He's got a dirty mind, don't you know?
Not to mention Pogue, and you don't know where he's been.
Yeah, you don't know where that that freaky little shyster's been.
Okay, so there's 4 watches in the night, right?
Correct. Well, probably you could do 5. You have a dragon. And I guess technically,
But we don't
Splorpy
have...
or Oleg could make their own watch.
Right, but we don't have... I'm counting out people that have a viable use magic device. So Hazaha, Zandu,
Pogue's +11.
Pogue. So that's 3 watches. We only need 1 more watch. to fly nonstop.
Why do we need 4 watches?
Because there's 4 watches in the night, right?
I can control it if a need be.
Okay. So we could still make it to where we could make it to where we could fly almost non-stop if we did it that way.
That's true.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, if that means we have to stop for 2 hours, then that means we have to stop for 2 hours.
Okay. So let's get the use magic device from whoever's first.
Okay, can we get whatever food we need, by the way? We can get some berries.
Make that survival check.
20 tabs. 21 survival.
Alright. Is that 34 a survival check as well, Adam?
No, that's my use magic device.
Okay, so Kazaha is able to fly with no problem, and you guys do find... Though it seems that something has come through and has been, like, defoliating the mushrooms is probably the... They don't have foliage. That's awkward, but that's the idea. As if someone is, like, pruning the mushrooms, you find considerably less.
Harvesting.
But you find... It doesn't seem like harvesting so much as they're just, like... You find bits and pieces of, like, burnt and gross and inedible mushrooms on the ground.
Okay.
But you find enough to get everybody through.
Is it from acid, or is it from fire, or from, what?
You can make it.
Or are they desiccated?
Would knowledge nature tell us more?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Wow, 2 and a 5s, rolling so hot today.
You always do, man.
A 24
Francis
nature.
is kind of at a loss, but Lucia comes over his shoulder and, like, she recognizes necromancy when she sees it. That's her jam, and that's the idea. It's almost if, to put it in a mechanical sense, it's almost as if this poor little thing with no class levels just got, like, enervated to bejesus and back in such a way that it's just sad and lifeless and no longer has any nutritional value.
So it's like sort of burning and sowing the fields with salt type of thing, so
Yes,
nobody can.
Precisely.
I would call that desiccation.
Desiccating a mushroom makes me seem like there's probably nothing there at all, because mushrooms are a lot of water, right?
Yeah, a lot of water items.
They look like magic mushrooms. They'd be shriveled up little pixie stick looking things.
Yeah, that's probably accurate.
Yeah.
Francis, powerful necromancy magic is at use, and I'm going to do knowledge spellcraft to see if this is natural or this is some type of a power. The creature probably used it on the mushrooms.
Okay, sure, go for it.
28.
Okay, so you can be entirely sure, definitely, that, like, someone is coming through, following back the way you came, and just kind of torturing you, toying with you, playing games with you. The horde of undead was probably just there to unnerve you. This is gonna sound like GM salt, but you didn't interact with it, so you don't know. But that's what you would know. Nemariel's
I
body.
don't know if it just sounds like GM salt.
It's not, I promise. Nemariel's body was certainly like a warning sign, and now it just seems to be like this is more and more and more. Also, like, Splorpy, and through Splorpy, Francis would know that Lucia's imp was killed by something riding a giant bat.
Mm-hmm.
You can put together from this that the only reason you guys haven't been attacked is because they don't want to attack you. Whether that means
Yeah,
they are afraid
I'm
of
trying
you?
to figure out how to catch a giant bat.
Oh, you've
But-
got wild. Oh, you don't have wild empathy. You're a plant druid.
I do. I just take a penalty.
No, fair enough. Okay. Or we need to find that, like, I forget what it's called. It's not called creeping mold, but there's a creature in the bestiary that's mold that if you bite it, like, as per a bite attack, not like, ooh, mold, I will eat it. It, like, I think it's called brain fungus. It literally just, like, goes inside your brain and controls you. That's what you need.
It goes inside my brain and does what?
And controls you.
Ah.
I remember Joe used
Like
those
those
once in a game.
funguses that control ants.
Yeah, like cordyceps or a sovereign worm or something like that.
For like 20 sessions, everything was controlled by the brain fungus.
Cerebric fungus.
Nice. Anyway, that's what you get.
So powerful necromancy magic is being used on the mushrooms. Nice to know. So who need to use the carpet next?
It's up to you guys.
Khazakha does not voice this, but he suspects that we are on a suicide mission.
Well, we are, metaphorically and literally going into the heart of darkness. So we're either going to be dead going in, or we're going to get out somehow.
Well, as far as the war effort goes, either we come down here and we get the rest of them back, or we go up and we have no army, we have no backup. We're kind of up shit's creek without a paddle. Moreover, my
Your niece.
well, I'm trying to think of exactly what Silas is. His master and his niece are also been taken prisoner.
As far as you know.
As far as I know, I have yet to find Silas or Deneb's body anywhere.
They could have magicked out. It's much like, again, like things are going on in the war effort above you. You don't have a lot of information. You're just kind of going off what you have. It certainly tracks. They could be slaves now. But she's really powerful. Your master is certainly very powerful. Ularix is very powerful. Of course, so is Namariel, but now she's dead.
So whatever happened to all of that, like, communing and whatever, and asking questions about, like, are people still alive, and that we've been doing for and now suddenly we're wandering around in the dark, and like, why aren't we still doing that?
Because we had weeks and weeks to prepare commune spells before.
My familiar is dead. I can't do that. Commune is not on. There's a variant of commune for the wizard, but it's not the cleric commune.
This is Pogue asking, not Van.
You would be asking to Xandu, because Xandu's the one that can do it without fail.
Yeah, Xandu's... Well, Xandu's a Colin character. He's real good at one thing.
Hey, some Tommy characters get that way, too. I'm trying to not do that.
No, that's not disparaging. I'm just like...
Falling asleep at inopportune times.
Real good at one thing. Detect Mindscape. Goes for perfect augury.
Yep, that's what he got. I don't think it's been a week. I think you can cast it.
It's been about a week for time travel, so
okay.
5-6 days, I think.
So
yeah. The commune been using it is a cleric, and it's a divination spell.
All right. So what action? What are we trying to see with perfect augury here?
Oh, I clicked it so you guys could read the text.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
I don't play diviners because I'm bad at asking questions.
It seems like a lot of fun.
It's certainly got a nice initiative bonus.
Yeah.
Oh, he also has perfect divination.
I can see the future. For all the fans of DBZ abridged out there.
I can see the future!
Oh.
Goku's the strongest person in the series, but he doesn't do shit.
Divination is one of those school magic that I don't really touch. It's nice to use it, but it's situation at best for divination use.
Fair.
So he doesn't have to wait. He doesn't have to wait a week to ask. He can ask.
I'm sure it's been a week since he's used it. I think.
Yeah, probably been a week. I mean, we were in the city about a day, so it would have been it would have been at least a minimum.
Yeah, it's
a
been a
week.
week since the city. Just about.
So the first question would then be, is... well, Francis, what is your niece's name?
Deneb.
Is Deneb alive?
Okay, so we're having Xandu cast Perfect Divination.
I would think, yeah. Might as well.
Alrighty. I'm not sure how many questions. Oh, it's right there. Hooray! He gets some. Oh, scrolling. A week, the advice. So he gets one question. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, I
felt like he got.
I'm gonna look it up on the SRD to make sure, but that seems to be what this text here is.
Which bloodline is this? Is it the psychic?
It's a psychic bloodline.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I was looking at my withered spells, and I don't get the divination spell. I don't get the divination spell Xandu does.
Psychic Bloodline. It's pretty flavorful. I enjoy GMing for it. It's a lot of avenues I don't normally get to use, so that's really cool.
It is a nifty one for its unique.
It might not necessarily be the most powerful thing in the world, but like then you're still a full caster, right? So, not so bad.
For what it's designed for, it's good. For what it needs to be used for.
Mm.
So are we looking at one question?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, the answer to that question is yes. Actually. I have to double check if this is one of those that has ice cream, still short phrase, you. Okay. Okay, so the answer is yes. I had to go back and like look at how it worked versus how augury worked and how the like, if this would be contradictory information, do. But I don't see anything about that, so. She's alive.
Oh, okie-dokie.
So, are we only allowed to ask yes, no questions?
No, you can ask any question.
But we just had the one.
It's better
So
to
instead of yes, no
What?
questions, why aren't we asking where is she?
because we could, but it's going to tell us in Norvoth.
Assuming she's in Narvoth.
Because-
Or Sekimina if she's in
Or
Sekimina. Or wherever she might be.
Right.
But
But
we
it
only have the
doesn't-
one question.
Right.
If she's traveling through the Darklands, it's more than likely just going to say the Darklands somewhere. You know, what layer of the Darklands she is in. Not necessarily where she is specifically. Because they're not that far ahead of us.
When it comes to questions like that, I need to be pretty precise when it came to divination questions.
Yeah, you need a divination spell like locate object.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
Xandu also has perfect divination, so unless there's something screwing with what he's doing, he'll get really accurate information. He's essentially taking 100 on the percentage dice when he casts the thing.
To check the burst of radiance.
That spell's pretty good. He's got a lot of mileage out of that.
does Xandu have locate
Object?
object?
He does not.
And then
That's
you
what
do-
I was looking for.
I do know it, but I didn't prep it.
Okay.
You'll have time, because we still got a day of travel.
We do.
Oh, yeah, sure. I prepare that for
Alrighty.
whenever we need to use it.
Let's have the next person make a use magic device. Kazaha's done his thing. I haven't seen another one since him, I don't think. There've been a lot of rolls. Yeah, no, I've only seen Kazaha's. Pog is able to fly it for another couple hours as you guys continue to rest.
Okay, I will.
And nothing bad happens to you guys either. You continue to find more of the same as you continue looking around. The
Any
passageway.
back guano?
No, no back guano.
Oh, I gave something to Deneb, didn't I?
Your heart.
Oh, ages ago. Oh, I'm almost certain I did.
I feel
But
like
venereal diseases aren't objects.
man, that's his niece. You gross ass.
It's a backwoods family.
Yeah,
You know what
I'm going to
They're all
roll.
druids.
I'm going to roll the next time using a divination spell to increase my UMD.
Understood.
Okay.
And you used your hero point.
Yeah. Do anyone have their hero points still?
I'm out.
I do. You can have Splorpy's hero point.
Yeah.
Take Slurpees, yeah.
Sport
You
comes
might
and
need
bumps
some
you.
in case
Splorpy,
somebody
the hero
dies.
point bank.
All right, so
14.
you get a natural 1, and you start to like. Lucia puts her hands out a little too hard and pushes the crystal ball, almost like to roll it off the carpet, is how hard she hits it. And then Splorpy comes back and kind of like as if he's a goalie and this is soccer, because all he is a head. He kind of just boop and knocks it back. But
He boops it back.
it's awkward as it connects him, because it kind of like his body conforms to accept the crystal ball, and bloop, back it goes, and that's enough to throw Lucia off. You guys don't crash and burn, but you guys do go down and contact the ground with kind of just like a sad skid, which could have been horribly, terribly bad. Yeah.
Splorpy's, I suppose, flying in front of the rug, because he flies.
And he had to go back real fast, just, oh no! And then fly back.
Well, if he's in front of it, because where is the crystal ball on the rug?
About in the middle.
Oh, okay. I figured it was like on the front, like a steering wheel.
These things are used for war primarily, so you'd have somebody concentrating on the thing and keeping it aloft while you have like archers around the sides firing down.
Ah.
Anywho, you guys make it. You made it another 6 hours back. You think like, I'm not really tracking time very well because of how fast we're moving, but you guys are pretty close to Casimir, or rather Korganbeer, and then Casimir above you, which I guess also is a means of egress from the Darklands.
What, we found a way out?
You could go through Casimir, yeah.
Oh, well, we already know about that. That's...
Yeah, it's super cold.
Yeah, and there's evil pieces of paper that we're afraid of.
Accurate.
Scary paper, bro.
Scary paper
Yeah.
that has symbols of suggestion that are keyed to you guys.
Any sign of the Viper yet?
No, well, it's been a while, hasn't it? No sign of the
We
Viper.
were back traveling. So we should have seen it soon.
Which is indicative
It's
of
on
the
its way
fact
to
that
Hope.
something might have happened.
Or it's stuck.
Or it's stuck.
Or the DM rolled low?
Or the GM rolled low. All three of these things.
Causing it to become stuck.
It is a pretty large creature, so probably it's stuck somewhere.
Or the
I
drow
guess.
picked it back up.
No, I suppose.
No.
Well, yeah, but like they couldn't control it because they don't have the diadem.
Paul have it unless if he do that for the
Bug
drow
puts
to
his hand to his head and realizes the diadem's gone.
No.
No, the diadem's still there.
It's glued to Pogue's head.
Ow, bad.
Yeah, we hot glued that bitch on there a couple days
Yeah.
ago. It was,
You
He
guys,
stapled it on.
yeah,
Pogue's-
it's not one of his prettiest piercings,
Yeah.
but it is
Po-
one of
Pogue's-
them.
Right. Pogue's head wears stun to him.
at the very least, Poe doesn't have piercing in his private parts that I know of.
that we
Yeah,
know of.
Well,
That's
I don't want to hear about his Prince
Yeah.
Albert.
I feel like that would be named Prince Stavian in this setting.
Hmm.
Perhaps his
Say-
salacious
say-
now.
Hey, give me that figure. Give me that figurine. Lucia's not the only one around here who's got royalty.
Boom.
But, boom.
So
All
I'm,
right.
I'm gonna say, well, Lucy could certainly try again if she'd like to try to interact
What?
with, not with the Prince Albert, with the crystal ball. There's nothing saying.
No, that's not. No, there's not. That's not happening.
No,
He
I
doesn't
am
get to
not.
drive.
I'd have to roll a natural 1 or something.
I am not using the crystal orb again.
Well, who's next then? Or do we hoof it? Or do we stop here for the night and then hoof it?
Well, I think everybody's awake now after being thrown bodily from the rug.
This is why you don't trust Lucia to use magic items like this.
Folks like
This is
chicks
why
can't
you don't
drive.
trust Lucia.
Yeah, that's all I heard too.
I mean, she is good in other areas. Using magic items like this is one area she's not good.
Oh yeah, we're reinforcing some horrible fucking automotive stereotypes. The old
Right.
man and the woman can't drive.
Right. But
Not
the good
again,
news
the
is
ball.
the good news is that if we all die in a carpet accident, then she can bring us all back to life.
Dying in a carpet accident seems right up Pogue's alley too.
It's,
That's what she said.
I could resurrect everyone, but
Not
strangulation.
resurrect. Don't lie to them.
I always figured
animate
Pogue
them.
would die running a train.
I
though.
could animate everyone, but there's the issue of them coming back as undead. Do they want that? Probably not.
No, because Kazuha and Francis would both come back as Huivka and murder you.
Yeah, you see why I'm trying to keep my raising dead low, though.
Wait till you get to higher level. It would be like brainlessly simple for you to bring up like wraiths and ghouls and even scarier things than those. Just not the
Devourers.
line. So what's the plan, guys?
Those are spooky. Well, I don't know how much Kazuha still has to sleep if he's going to have spells, but I don't guess he really needs spells. He just have the ones he already had prepared, so he can fly it again.
As long as we get our daily abilities back, I'm okay, because I haven't really been using my spells.
Yeah, you just wild shaped. Okay, if Kazuha would like to fly.
And Pogue's ability to be snarky actually improves with loss of sleep. So
Yeah.
Yeah, word, my dude.
Oh yes. The independent YouTuber
Kazuha
can certainly
keeps
agree
flying.
with that notion.
We should be catching up fairly soon, if not with them, with somebody.
Yeah, in another couple hours, you guys reach Corganbeer. You don't. There's no sign of the drow. The Darrow's bodies are still in the state you guys left them in, as well too as the city.
Which means the Darrow weren't.
In addition, Dalek does return.
hey boy, how are you?
He says
Come
nothing,
here.
for he is a construct. Well, he
And he is powered by demons.
is powered by evil.
Oh, he says something. Whispers in the night. While you sleep.
He doesn't say anything good.
I know it's you, old man. Just
No signs
Why
of
are
the
you
drow.
why are you getting up my ass? It was Kazuha.
oh well, yeah, okay.
Actually,
Underdark,
Here's an
bro.
idea.
What?
Can I get Pogue to make me a quick perception check? Just
And a
Pogue.
will save.
Does he have all the loot in his trunk?
He's got all the
What?
junk in his trunk.
He's gathering loot for Pogue too?
You guys are up to look at all these convenient magic items that Kazuha needs to function. Just all right there. All right, so
Dalek went shopping.
Dalek in his mouth, not intentionally because he's not a dog. There's a little bit of. You don't recognize the ore. You don't recognize a lot about it, but it's like a wing.
A wing?
As if one were to break it off a little statuette.
A statuette.
Can I examine the item?
If Pogue would like to, only he sees this because his dog has come back finally.
Come here, boy. Good boy. Hand me what's in your mouth.
He opens his mouth and disgorges
Give
it onto
it.
the ground.
Pogue has
Give
no
it.
idea how to talk to
Give it.
constructs.
Man, I can't wait for the story arc where Dalek gets rabies and
You have to go put it
Pogue
down.
has to take him out behind the shed and shoot him with Dad's old gun.
I feel like that's more like Pogue. Dalek gets possessed by a much more powerful demon and it's suddenly a boss fight. That's not
No, Kazuha! He's my giant snake monster!
He's my CR30 solo at the end of the game monster that actually isn't bad. I knew what I was going to do before, but that's not bad. Anywho,
You what? Anyway. So,
Assuming we make
Yes,
it that
we
far.
so I get the wing, I look at it and I say, anybody know what this is?
I will examine the item.
Alrighty.
So I'm using identify in the wall.
Okay. So does that give you a bonus on the roll, or do you just...
Yes, plus
Yeah, it's
10.
plus 10.
So in that case, Lucia is 100% sure. This is the broken remains of a figurine of wondrous power that would have turned into a pretty sizable bat.
Ooh.
Of course, it's like, it doesn't work now. It's a broken magic item.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's what it came from.
That
So-
explains how they're
No.
moving so fast.
Now,
ahead of us.
I have a stupid question. Meta question. Sorry.
Mhm.
Constructs. Can I talk to them, or can I? I mean,
It
I don't
varies
understand how
from
constructs
construct to
work.
construct. It's
okay.
so I'll just tell you now. Abacaron Viper. I have his stats up because I brought, in case you guys had to fight a bunch of.
I have
drow,
it too.
I have my
Yeah.
monster codex open. Alright, I'm looking. He has
Yes.
no languages.
No.
He has no intelligence, no con. He
can take orders from you because you're wearing the diadem, but I think that
Right.
might be it.
yeah, that's
So I can't ask him questions or no perception or anything like that.
right.
But I can my wasp.
Correct.
All right.
And that said, if Dalek stays for a while, there's nothing saying you couldn't find a way to give him intelligence. Splorpy's headband comes to mind.
Yeah,
Not
I
a
don't
good
think.
idea.
I
Just
I
throw
don't.
that out there. That's not a good idea.
Or even like anybody with an intelligence headband could turn him into, like if it's +2, he'll be a snake that's a robot snake. +4, he'll be sad.
He'll be sentient.
Yeah. He could take any feat.
Yeah.
He can learn a language. He couldn't speak it, but he can learn it.
Yeah.
And at
Does that
10,
mean my
he
war
can-
cat can learn a language at 3 intelligence in Rune Lords?
Yeah, to understand it.
Oh, tight.
So at 10, he becomes a working man, and at 20, he's a philosopher. Is that the
More or less. You get the idea.
right? But his alignment becomes even more.
Oh yeah, he might become super fucking evil.
The
if you
demonic
make him
spirits
intelligent.
imbued
Yeah,
inside
that's why
that
I said
construct will get...
Not
Well,
a
I
good
mean,
idea.
Yeah.
that's
Not a
kind of
good
like,
idea.
it wouldn't
That's like
necessarily...
three
It wouldn't...
Demons.
It wouldn't give the demons intelligence. The demons are just like the gas in the car that are allowing it to have the ability to protect whoever wears the diadem. It's more like if there's a fuel leak while the car is intelligent. That's what you got to worry about.
Oh, there'd be a fuel leak. There'd be a fuel leak.
I'm sure there would
Throwing it
be.
out there.
Probably makes sense.
Be too easy to pass up, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so back to where we were.
I will also say
Well,
that now that you've found a figurine of wondrous power, a part of it for a big bat, but you've also found bat guano, which is weird.
Wait a minute.
It's a mixture of both.
So
We call it confusing. He calls it storytelling.
So are we?
No, Khazakha. Okay, I'll make an Arcana check for it, but I think Khazakha would.
So are we back on the path or what? That
I
would
mean,
be
you've been
really
on the
weird.
path
So-
this whole time. There's one big superhighway.
On their path.
So a 29 from Khazakha. Would he know that they are using? That they would be exchanging out bats via Carry Companion?
It's entirely possible. Either that,
There you go.
or they are like conjuring bat guano to throw people off the fact that they have figurines of wondrous power. Again, this is a lot of like, if they wanted to attack you, they would.
That sounds so convoluted.
It is very convoluted.
So if they know we're following them,
They're not afraid of us.
They're not.
right?
Well, which makes sense because they did,
Means-
fight an army.
Which means Khazakha, again, he would probably take Francis aside and look at him and say, I'll keep going with this, but I just want to make you aware that when we get there, when we get to them, we will probably die.
I won't ask you to go with me, but I won't leave without them.
The next several sessions are one-on-ones with Francis Root. The guy whose GMs usually have very clear quest lines is one-on-one in the open world setting. How long before I make Kane go insane? Unload caliber.
Where do you want to go? I don't know.
Rolls percentage dice. You can't go there.
More or less.
Alright.
This isn't open world at all. This is lie. This is a house of lies.
This is random.
It's a railroaded sandbox.
Funhouse mirrors. Alright, so.
Point me in the direction of the quest.
So do we think, are we back at the path down to the city?
You guys are... You could go up and get to Casimir. No,
I'm sorry, the Drow City.
The Drow City? No, that's from here. It would be... I'm looking at my map.
We still gotta keep following them.
From Casimir to Opara, that's probably... If you keep the same...
To go to Opara?
Yeah, if you keep the same strategy of just flying 24 hours, you could get there a lot faster than you did before. But that's still probably like 2 weeks.
Yeah. That's the problem. Everywhere is...
Valerion's a really,
away.
really big map.
It must have gone a different way.
That would track.
Well, they probably will turn off any time. They can turn off any time, and we may or may not find where they go. So, our own strategy of trying to follow them only works out if we somehow catch up before they turn off.
Right.
They know we're here, which means, and they're messing with us, but other than what we're executing right now is our best plan to get the allies back, to get them up to the surface to do something about Ragnarok.
Right.
Other than that, we were kind of stuck.
If let's say hypothetically we did continue following the bat tracks.
The bat tracks have been gone for a long time.
Wait, question.
Yes.
So, now that we found Dalek, he's left a trail, right?
Yeah, he's left a trail.
He weighs 6,000 pounds.
He's like,
Right.
yeah, that's fair. He's left a trail for sure.
It's only 5,000. So,
Oh, excuse me.
God,
He's lost some weight. He's been in the gym real hard.
he's a viper of size, but come on.
If
If he left a trail and he picked up a batwing along the way, then maybe that will tell us where they went.
It's entirely possible.
hypothetically, if we do come across a dead drow, we could possibly use the divination spell, locate object, to find where the group is potentially.
Well, yeah, he suggested that, but does anyone have that spell?
I did prepare it when we were resting and traveling for the 24 hours.
Okay.
So I have a single use of it.
Is there an object that Lucia would be familiar with that one of them is carrying?
Probably not. Now, had Yarva gone with the army, certainly. But
If we count Yarva as an object.
no, I mean like when you guys were at Casimir and you split up. That would be the case.
Wait,
but
who went with them?
Francis's master and his apprentice, which is also his niece, which is who we're looking
Right.
for.
So if I remember how locate object work is, as long as I have an idea what the item look like, I should use the divination spell. Am I correct?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah, he can. It's just the more familiar with it he is, the better.
Okay, sure. It's like scrying just for a thing. Okay.
No, it's just one, but because the Dawnflower folks all took off, so there's nobody that we had been with previously that then went that Lucia would have some familiarity with that went with them.
But it's not like scrying in and of the fact that locate object has a range of 400 feet plus 40 per level, so
yeah,
it wouldn't necessarily.
It'd have to be 400 feet away.
Plus 40 per level.
I do not get access to the scrying spell until next level.
That would work. If you had that, you could scry Silas or did
that. If I didn't multi-class into a prestige class, I would have it by now.
You'd have access to it.
Yeah. I don't know what to fucking do then.
Classic Kane.
I'm at a loss. We were gonna go to the Drow City. Now they're not in the Drow City, or they're somewhere else, and we can't find them to cut them off.
If we followed Dalek's track, we would know where he fought them.
That is probably true, yeah. Assuming he didn't just, like, kill one that was conveniently already in, like, figurine form, and he passed it and was somehow suddenly intelligent enough to be like, kill that thing! Get its wing, and then bring it back.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, but even if he did, that shows us what their path is.
It also would show you everywhere he's gone since you guys were away from him.
So it's most likely to be the last.
You can command him. Couldn't he command him to show me where you got this?
I don't think so. He has
to follow some kind of command.
The Viper has no intelligence. It has no wisdom.
Right. It has to follow orders that he can follow. I can't give him orders that he can't follow.
Yeah.
Okay, so the order, if you do say, lead us where you found the item, would that be a simple
That would work, yeah. Let me go back and not be so terrible. You could definitely do that. You can
tell him, bite that dude. You should be able to tell him, where'd you get this?
That is
true.
Be able
to show you, right?
I know when it comes to command.
That's true. You're used to commanding idiots. So.
I know what strictly mechanically when it came to compulsion spells or commands, you have to be very choosy in the words what you say, because a simple command could be a few words, and then complex can be as simple as 6 words.
To continue that notion, Dalek is a computer, so yes, you're basically just putting commands in a command prompt. Does them.
Dalek's a computer.
Yeah.
Good thing Pogue's a software engineer. Woohoo! All right.
I forget that's how constructs work. Yeah, he can follow basic. He can probably even follow pretty complex commands. Just he would be better at doing basic ones. By that notion, if you say attack and there's a pit between Dalek and Dalek's target, he'll fall in the pit. Which is how we're gonna deal with
programming in basic, but it is programming.
One idea: if we do come across a dead drow, I could use blood biography to learn more about the drow.
That's certainly true, yeah.
But we are limited to who, what, where, why, and very limited knowledge, so that may or may not be very useful.
They're evil. They're all going to be snow anyway.
Well, hey Dalek, my first order is don't fall in any pits.
All right. He looks at you for a couple seconds and then turns back. That's fair. You can do that. If bad guy attack, if pit, no attack.
If terrain equals hole, let walk equals 0.
They don't walk.
I'm not smart enough to play a golem crafter. I'm now realizing this. Damn it!
I'll send you some code in the interim.
Tight.
Some pseudocode. Okay,
so you guys want to follow Dalek back to where he found the Viper, or he found the Batwing? You
guys think we should start by doing that at least?
At
For the next 7 minutes or so?
It's as good a plan as we've got.
At least with the body, we can get some useful information.
And we can ride the snake, which means we can travel all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's huge. It can carry everything that Lucia's dragon can't. Its speed is 40, so it's not the fastest
40.
in the world, but it
can run.
can go
It's
forever.
faster than us on foot.
That is definitely for sure.
Yeah,
Okay, so it doesn't take you guys that long to get to the scene of the fight. Dalek goes which way?
Does it follow the same path that we were going to follow?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Because my only thing about that plan, Kazaha, is that going all the way to Apara and then coming back down, it seems like they must have a shortcut.
Dalek takes you guys.
Oh, I agree. They must have a shortcut, but that's the only way I know.
Dalek takes you guys to
Safely.
Casimir. Not like up to the city all the way, but almost right outside the little staircase, or rather the little like hatch that opens up into that basement in that general store where Pogue and Xandu went. You don't find. Well, you would. Four snow piles lay outside the entrance, as well as the rest of the shattered figurine of wondrous power. You assume like Dalek just got real lucky and got some of it in his mouth when he bit.
Alright, so he killed some drow there.
Mhm.
Going up?
Like right outside.
Why would the drow be upstairs?
A fine question.
Are they working with the Chelish?
But what if they're not taking them back down to the city? To the drow city?
I can get at least some answers that we may able to link hints together. So I'm going to be using my last recompose corpse scroll, and then the blood biography scroll to get additional information. Is this a plan, everyone?
This seems good.
Alright. Are there tracks here other than the snakes? Like, are there a lot of tracks here?
Some of the tracks are much bigger than others. Like, you get to the point where you can see something has burrowed its way out of the wall, something pretty big. Its tracks hit the ground pretty much like it almost appears like it showed up just for the fight and then died. Its snow pile is considerably bigger than the other. Like, there's one that's pretty small, a couple of them that are a little bigger, and then one that's like super big.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, Nature Boy, what kind of tracking can you do on the prints or whatever?
You identify the tracks.
Well, yeah, okay. I'd have to look up at survival specifically, but I know I can determine how many people are traveling. The direction they're traveling in, obviously. And how long ago how old the tracks are.
Okay. The tracks are pretty fresh in some cases. In the cases of the big one, they seem to be like perhaps 24 hours old. The rest of them are a little older. They seem to be coming first going up into Casimir and then coming back, whereas the big one just kind of appears out of a wall. The big ones are kind of like
What if
the big tracks are almost like shaped like a T-Rex's foot. There's 3 really big front toes but no back toe.
What if the drow took them to the so-called to the Heck Knights
For the bounty?
for
or as a gift?
who knows?
Do any of us know the bounty on those NPCs' names?
You know yours is in the millions. You imagine that, like, Pogues, Kazuha's, Francis's, Xandu's also would be in the millions this year for Rizia.
We've already established that Pogue doesn't have a bounty on his head.
But we're going to reestablish that he, in fact, probably does at this point because he's left the life of the prostitute behind, and now he's, worst case scenario, guilty by association, best case scenario, one of the people that helped overthrow the satrap of Qadira.
Does Kazuha have a standing one throughout the Empire, or is he's part of the Dawn Flower, but he's been in the Darklands most of the time? So how does that work?
You assume it'd be more of a guilty by association kind of thing. The Holy Chelish Empire has reached out to the Cult of the Dawn Flower, which includes you. So they're not...
You're an accessory.
Kinda, yeah.
Well, I mean, I did active stuff against them, but...
So why would there be a bounty against your mentor and your niece? Or your master and your niece?
They were complicit in our crimes?
They haven't done anything yet.
How would they know that?
And my thinking is they know something about us, so they're probably trying to apply some type of pressure onto them. So
they're bait.
So they're probably going to bait us to come to them. That is the worst case scenario.
Well, we were going to come up here. We were going to come up here anyway, right?
I guess.
Like months ago.
What you were doing
before Gugfest.
To further go on with...
can you guys remember back that far before Gugfest?
Do you guys have brains that big?
There was nothing.
There was nothing.
The other 9 Gugs show up.
There was nothing before Gugfest. Before Gugfest, there was only darkness.
And then it was so that Gugfest 2018 was upon ye.
The first rule of Gugfest is you don't talk about Gugfest.
Oh, you do.
And then there was the word, and the word was Gugfest.
To further go on with Francis's survival check, 2 of the tracks appear to be like elf tracks, which you assume are drow. One of them is much smaller, more akin to a gnome. The big one that looks like a giant reptile's foot, Francis can't identify.
A gnome or a little kid?
Definitely a gnome. The feet are a little bigger.
Okay. Definitely not a child. A gnome.
Well, it's definitely not Pogue's girlfriend.
Oh no, because she's dead.
Yeah. Chopped in half.
Is it too soon to joke about that?
No, you can totally do that.
Okay.
So Pogue's had his moment. He's had his histrionics.
He immortalizes her now through innuendo.
That's right.
So, do we want to learn more about the droughts through the blood biography?
If you can make up,
if you can think of something you want to, like, go for it, man. That's your prerogative.
If you can summon up a drow.
I am thinking, looking at the spouted description at the best, I can get their name and what their role in the current situation is. So I'm going to give you the post.
I see blood biography here. I brought it up myself. Okay.
Yeah. So using blood biography. So who are they? What are they?
Which target? There are 4 corpses.
Yeah. So
did you recompose it? Or
so I choose one of the bodies.
Yes, of which there are definitively 4 different ones. There's one that's bigger than everybody else, one that's smaller that Francis thinks might be some kind of gnome-like thing, and then 2 that are in the middle, which Francis assumes are 2 elf-like
Oh, these are the
things.
corpses.
Yes.
These are the piles of snow. There's a little pile of snow, 2 medium piles of snow.
Shaped, right?
Vaguely.
No, they're just, yeah.
They're vaguely like if someone laid down on the ground and became snow.
Right.
Yeah, they're kind of just
Drow,
oblong.
something else. Two
Some
Drow,
sort of
something
small thing.
else, and a Svirfneblin.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
it's for Neblin Geomancer.
Not quite.
Okay,
I like
so-
that character too much. I talk to that guy's player a lot, and I think I'm gonna like at least bi-weekly do a little open legend with that guy GMing. Because Kane says I'm burnt out and I need to try a new system, so I'm gonna do the one that's completely freeform.
Which of the bodies do you want me to recompose? I have
one of the elves.
one use. So can I tell which which of these pile belong to a elf?
Only in terms of size category, but yeah.
Okay, so I choose one of the elf bodies. They may have more useful information than the others.
Okay. And you are able to successfully recompose the corpse of the matron of the party. Okay.
That would be the more important one of the Drow.
For
Okay,
sure. So I'm looking at blood biography.
yeah. So who are you? What are you?
How's your bloodshed? When was your bloodshed? Okay. So. Oh god. She doesn't have a name, this random drow.
Gruntilda.
Oh, she doesn't have a name.
This random NPC. We're gonna say the name that she was most commonly known as was
Grimbobula.
I'm gonna say Vivania. I'm gonna borrow that one from. Congratulations. Who are
I'm
you?
not sad that she's dead at all.
Boom. She was a female drow cleric. Drow noble cleric. The basic outlines of events that caused the wound, to the best of their knowledge, was killed by an Abercarn Viper that should not have been hostile, but was. When it tracks around the same time as when the tracks came down, is when she was. It's almost like they just serendipitously ran into each other.
Okay, cool.
Which then you guys can put together that the Abercarn Viper was going to just run up onto the surface of Galarion and then make its way down through the Verduran Forest, through that dwarf city to meet you guys in the middle.
Nice.
That would have been real bad for that Viper.
Yep, yeah, would've.
So do you think we can glue some on them so the dwarves aren't, or so that the druids aren't so freaked out?
Onto what?
It would be more when the Heck Knights that are all walking around actively detecting evil detect it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, I'm not super jazzed about that Viper, but I don't feel any burning need to destroy it.
It's pretty nice to have a CR-13 super powerful construct hanging out with you.
Yeah, it was pretty nice to have a CR-13 ooze too, but he's half dead now.
You gotta find a place to recharge him.
I can't summon lightning storms yet.
You gotta go to Numeria real quick.
Yep. To the Iron Mountain. We're playing Iron Gods now.
Yep.
It's gonna get weird.
It's gonna get real overpowered because you guys are not built for an AP.
If we do go to the surface with the construct and the dragon, we have to leave them out somewhere safe. But then again, all of us have bounties, or we are guilty of association. So getting information.
You also know that going where these guys came from into Casimir is almost certainly suicide, from what Pogue and Zandu were able to figure out. Of course, the possibility exists. You could, like, it's a big city. You don't have all the information. You know that. You definitely just looked at a general store window. It's bad. This is bad. Goodbye. That said,
I'm thinking, if we do go to the surface, sending Poe in would be our best chance.
and doing that was already like that had failed. That was
Right, we were
tried.
gonna do that, but the snow was up over his head, and there was all these flyers that we were afraid that if Pogue ran into one, he'd be like, "Hey, it's me! Come get me!"
And it was so supernaturally cold that literally Zandu and Pogue both had to roll natural 20s to get through that.
So would Endure Element help with resisting the cold?
In theory.
What about like actual energy resistance?
Also in theory.
How about thermal underwear?
Also in theory.
In theory.
Come on, the thermal underwear.
These corpses, are there any items in them? Or are they just...
Nothing keeps your junk warm like Under Armour.
So these...
no items. There are no items on the bodies at all. Well, that's not true. You find the rest of the shattered remains of a figurine of wondrous power that looks like a bat, if you were to put it all... If you had some magical stuff, you could make a bat.
It is possible that the bat guano we found was a red herring. We're in the Underdark. There are bats.
So how long will it take for me to repair...
The substantial amount necessary for a large bat would have to be prestidigitated away, or I guess passed without a trace.
Donald, it would take a pretty powerful, from your last check to identify, a pretty powerful make hole to put this thing back together. Though you certainly could, just probably not right now.
Why do we need
collect it up, put it in your bag. You can fix it later, maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
maybe there's some super glue in the shop above.
Just a thought.
No.
As I try to bait you guys to go back into the Death Trap City.
There's a shop in the Death Trap City that might serve you.
Yeah.
Khajiit has wares if you have coin.
Yeah, it is on the wizard list, so I can use enough make hole to repair it eventually.
That's accurate. But
yeah, it's the question
also has a clause about, and we know this because they got really mad at me at Rise of the Rune Lords when I started sundering things, and I can't be a bad person anymore. But...
Just take greater make whole. It's just caster level instead of double caster level.
Yeah.
Well, it's a small figurine, right? She's mend.
But mending wouldn't... I mean, you could mending it back together and make a little statue, but that would not...
It doesn't make it magic.
Yeah.
Again.
No, I know. So what do I need a bat for?
Because figurines of wondrous power, actually, like, I didn't realize how sweet they were until one of my characters out of the deck of many things got, like, the onyx goat or something like that. I'm like, this is a stupid goat. Why do I want this? It's really good. It's very, very good.
Yeah, the crow that sends messages is really good, too.
The goat that has a lance built into his horns that you can just pull out and use. Also, it can shadow walk. Also, I think it can teleport. It's...
I actually have a make hole greater, so I can repair it in the future.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, just make sure your caster level is at least equal to it.
Twice that of the item.
It's only equal if it's make hole greater.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough. Okay. Okay. Well, what's our next
Okay,
move?
do we want to go up onto the surface? Is that the feeling we're getting off?
No, because
If we go up onto the surface, it's going to be cold.
Yeah.
Or probably die.
Okay, so but we found these reptilian track. All the tracks I found are for these bodies.
Yeah. And
okay, there are no additional tracks or tracks leading away that aren't the Abercrombie Vipers?
There are not.
Okay.
So maybe they didn't take him upstairs, but there's something related. There's a relationship between the Drow and the Heck Knights.
If they didn't take them upstairs, that means they took them somewhere here. Which means... in this room, they should be.
Well, we'd be looking for a lot of tracks. I don't know how many prisoners they took, but there'd be all of the, at least some of the soldiers and all of the prisoners.
I assume there's some type of a holding area in the city somewhere.
That's probably fair.
Sure. Yeah.
There's
also it's 9.
Also, it's 9. This is probably a good place to knock off. Unless anybody has a definitive, let's do this right now. Which we can do.
No.
Alright.
Let's go streaking through the city streets.
Alright. Everyone dies of exposure. Hooray.
Exposure from Pogue.
Exposure, and then the Hell Knights kill you in the name of
And his royalty.
mighty Saren Ray. Anywho, thank you guys for coming to hang out. I didn't say it at the beginning, because sometimes I forget, but I don't ever forget because they're like my best friends in the whole world. I was joined today, as I always am, by Adam Spain, the man, the myth, the legend himself, and Kane from the Inn of Planar Crossroads. They're a wonderful channel, good friends of mine, and again, if you guys don't subscribe to that channel, we can't be friends. I'm sorry, but for now, thanks for coming out. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and we'll see you next time. Say bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
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 There it is.